a sacrifice seduced for the altar of your vanity. A jealous, hungry God, craving praises of profanity. With bedroom dark and dine, and a deep mouth stained with wine, it drinks its fill. It was your mothers, not your brothers, that agreed to feed you poison. This egregious lack of choice indeed seemed fit to join your voice in, with lies disguised as prizes of reason and wisdom, with briberies of finery to weaken any criticism. Can the fly invade the blossom that devours it? A mouth that lies in wait for a gift of life to shower it.
Alright,
Ready?
it is session 82 of All Roads Lead to Rome. Last session, we had a unique opportunity to take down a very young werewolf, took it captive, and delivered it to Emilia Mela, Albina Pallas's sire. We're going to skip forward 4 months. It is a few days after the Lupercalia, the festival of the Lupercalia. That would put it as February time frame. In that 4 months, Gaius Gracchus was easily acquitted of his charges of abandoning his post and was elected tribune. So you guys wake up as normal, going about your business, and you feel a very powerful summons, supernatural summons.
Oh. Are we able to know where it is coming from? What is the general direction it's pulling us towards?
Yes, it is pulling you to the north.
Well, what would be the...
All of you. It is pulling all of you, and it is very, very, very strong. Like, if you're going to resist it, tell me, and I'll tell you how many willpower to spend.
Yeah, well, let's see what it is.
Yeah,
Might be Alexander.
likely.
As you... It's like following a compass. Yeah, all it tells you is go north, and then you kind of hone in on it like a compass magnet.
I mean, I'm gonna presume we have a general idea on, who we might consider it would be in the north.
Well, you don't get summoned very often, and the Capitoline Hill is basically where you're headed. And there's one powerful kindred who basically claims Capitoline Hill for the most part.
Oh, I thought it was.
As you get closer and closer to the Temple of Jupiter, it gets more and more stronger. You know you're getting closer. You know you're getting closer. You walk into the Temple of Jupiter. Bits of snow on your feet, slush, mud. As you climb the hill, the Capitoline Hill, and then the crowds begin to fall away. The temples grow more and more ornate. The wooden facades are beginning to fall away to stone and Greek marble. The statuary gets more and more impressive. And you come to the Temple of Jupiter, which is one of the two most important temples on the entire hill. And you enter, and like all Roman temples, It's basically open. There's one set of doors, and the doors are thrown open, and the statue of Jupiter's on the inside. And seated in front of it is Princeps Camillus. Now, Lavietta, you have Auspex 3. For the first time, you get a chance to see a little secret about him. I'd like you to roll your perception plus awareness.
Perception.
Auspex bonus does not help with this,
Okay,
but
so,
if you get 4 successes, I will tell you a secret.
so base diff 6?
Correct.
Come here. Don't need it.
Oh, so close. So close.
Oh.
As you get closer and closer, he looks and he sees you, and then you feel the summons disappear when he meets your eyes. He appears quite angry. He's literally shaking with fury. He has a clay tablet in one hand and a scroll in the other. And he's not the only one there. Albinus Sire is there. Amelia. Ainana is there. Lysander is there. And every member of the Eternal Senate is there.
Albina, feeling somewhat intimidated, is going to very slowly approach and make herself bow low to the assembled vampires.
His eyes he doesn't even move his head, he just moves his eyes. And he pins you with his eyes, and it's like being pinned like a bug. This is one of those occasions where it's better to not be heard unless you have no other choice.
Hat's going to
Spoken to.
yeah. Hat's going to try her best to not be too cowed, and be respectful still, but try not to show extra meekness from this, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Albiana's going to remember that, obviously, aside from her coterie members, she is currently surrounded by elders.
And just to refresh your memory of what Ainana looks like, I will go ahead and put that on the Discord chat. He is so mad he can't even open his mouth to speak. He hands the scroll off to her, Ainana. And she begins to read. And she opens it up. It says, Citizens of Rome, let this news be heard among the people. The Pontifex Luperci and the Magisters Fabiani and Quinticiliani have uncovered a curse of wolves among the people. A cursed breed that combines both man and wolf in horrid mockery of Romulus and Remus. One of their number was exposed and executed during the festival of Februatus. Let it be known that if any can prove a one to be cursed in such a fashion, there shall be reward for its exposure and death. And then she rolls it back up. And Camillus looks out over the crowd. And he looks at Amelia. And his voice is quaking with rage. He says, What in the name of Tartarus and the cold purgatory of Pluto were you thinking? You, Amelia Mela, have brought a focused light of terror down upon this community. Did you stop to think, for even a minute, what kind of focus this would bring down on us? And you see everyone shrinks back away from her. Nobody wants to be close to this. And as she looks at the princeps, and the princeps looks at her, Inanna creeps up behind her and just gets right up next to her, right up behind her.
I think Albina had seen that she's going to feel the bloodbound pushing her to bring herself closer to her sire.
Yeah, you're ready to jump in. Bloodbond
Yeah.
is gonna encourage that.
Hat just tries to remain calm and just take everything in as it comes.
Is probably just going to take one, possibly two small steps back.
Getting ready to run. Good idea. The tension lasts for a long, long moment. Nobody here needs to breathe. There's not even the sound of somebody breathing or shaking. And Camillus breaks his gaze first, and he looks out over the entire crowd. He says, "Death is too easy a punishment for this egregious error. Not until you have fixed this mess shall you know even a shred of mercy. I announce the creation of a new position, the Scourge. You shall be my instrument to flay such undesirables from my city. These werewolves, the unaccepted, the undeserving, all shall suffer to be driven from Rome or die. And you will be the tool I wield to do this. Unless, of course, you accept death by sunlight execution." And then Amelia falls to her knees in relief that she's not about to die. And Albina, even underneath your blood bond, you feel scorn. Your beast coils in your mind. This is weakness. This is weakness. Lasombra should face death with dignity, not pathetic subservience.
She gives a side glance to her sire, saying that, and there might be a bit look of shock on her face because the last person that should have expected such behavior from. And I think she's going to look over to. She's going to approach her. What are you doing?
Camillus looks at you, and he fixes you, Albina, with that gaze of. When you meet his eyes, there is no pity in his eyes. There's no mercy. What you see in his eyes is assured promise of death. And he says, "There's a second price to pay. As my instrument, you will forfeit your domain over the Lupercalia cult to be redistributed as I see fit. Perform well, and you will live long enough to see another night, and perhaps earn the chance to reclaim your domain." And then directly to you, Albina, he says, "Those of you that assisted her in this, should she fall or fail, her sins will pass on to you, even unto the third generation." And then he looks up and he says, "Let it be known to the city that Inanna is hereby recognized as Praetor Urbanus, and may select such praetors as she deems necessary to prosecute her duties. The rest of you are dismissed." And everybody starts walking away, clearly not willing to break the silence.
Abner gets up and walks backward, her eyes never leaving her sire. A mixture of anger is slowly coming over her face a bit as the shock starts wearing off. She realizes that by rejecting death, Hosea has not just showed weakness and submission before the prince, but has also placed Abner in a position of submission and weakness before the prince. This punishment being carried on to 3 generations down the line.
Yep, that you have. I would be shocked if you weren't upset about that.
She's going to be waiting for her on the outside of the temple.
So to be clear, everyone was dismissed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll probably wait with Almana just to see what happens.
Amelia
I
is
think
clearly fighting her beast right now. She is struggling to control the urge to just run. Um,
When she sees her leaving, Abner is going to approach her and put her hand her hand on her arm, perhaps a little bit of potence to keep her from running.
yeah, when you do that, she lashes out. She just, out of instinct, just grabs your arm and squeezes as hard as she can. You feel the bones in your forearm begin to grate and shift under the strength of her grip as she twists. And she looks and she goes, she's just lashing out in anger. She just, "Kick your hand off of me."
Why should I, when you so eagerly let the prince lay his hands on you?
She begins to, she doesn't release her grip. She begins to keep twisting your arm back towards your shoulder.
She's going to fight back. She's going to try to get out of it and try to get the grapple on her. Try to reverse.
Okay? You're going to have to resist your blood bond to do that.
Okay?
Blood bonds. I believe that's just to spend a willpower point, I think.
Okay. Do I also need to roll the remaining willpower or self-control or something?
I'm searching for it as we speak. B blood bonds. Here we go.
at this particular point in time, Lubian is kind of in two minds. The conformist in her obviously wants to make her stay in place and sort of just watch everything, but the fanaticist in her makes her kind of turn around and kind of move to another room or, to the outside. And when she's out of sight of everyone, a slight scowl is going to appear on her face. She did not like that at all.
You make a willpower. A vampire contemporary resists their their bond. Make a willpower roll difficulty 8 modified by your nature and any recent kindness or abuse. And then spend a willpower point. Let me check a little something so I don't just read it out loud to everybody. Yeah, I don't think your nature and demeanor are going to help you here. So let's make it flat out difficulty 8. Absolutely. Oh, that's a 6, but
Yeah, that was my
you still
mistake.
got
The
a success.
difficult.
So yeah, spend a willpower, and you can resist it for let's say 3 rounds.
She's going to try to reverse the grapple on her, reverse the hold that she has on her.
Contested strength and brawl, and potence.
Using a blood point to make potence automatic.
All right. Well, you need what's your you're not going to beat 6, even with your auto potence.
Yeah.
She feels you resist, and her eyes actually widen as she feels you fighting her. Um, she takes as you resist, and she begins pushing back, pushing back, pushing back, and she feels you fight back. Uh, she just takes her free hand and she slaps you across the face.
You act, you lash out like a common street whore.
Um,
Oh,
Hat's going to
jeez.
look. Oh, sorry. Sorry, was I interrupting? Sorry.
Um, no, what is Hat going to do? Because this might be quite important.
Yeah. Okay. First, she's going to look around to see if there are any mortals nearby.
There are always mortals nearby these days.
Hmm. Okay. So. Okay. Hat's going to. Um. Okay. Hat's going to activate the Pentaswan, paralyzing gaze, and try to get the attention of Albinus Sire.
Yes. You are free to activate that. I'm going to tell you there is nothing you can do to stop what's about to happen, short of physically attacking her. Um, so, Albina Sire, her eyes get even wider if that's possible. Drags you to a cutout into the hill. It's relatively isolated, and as she does, you guys all notice all of the shadows are starting to go crazy in the area. They're beginning to writhe and move. They lengthen, they shrink, they take on weird forms. Looks like they're drawing the two of them in. And as they reach this secluded little kind of cave like area, which isn't really a cave, but you get the picture, she takes Albina and just kind of tosses her inside and then steps in, and then all the shadows close behind them, concealing them from view. And Amelia looks at you and she says, "You little whelp, it's time I teach you once more your place in this world."
My place. What you did is going to forever mar this. Is going to forever stay in a clan in this city.
Albina, you feel shadow tentacles beginning to coil around you, gripping your head, your arms.
She knows that she cannot escape from her, so she's going to. She's, she's going to. Let me see if I have something. And now she told me to not actually work on her because of the generation. Then. Okay, so she's going to try to use her own shadow tentacles.
Okay, go for it.
Shit, 6.
Outstanding. Uh, your own shadow tentacles begin to emerge as well, and begin to fight shadow against shadow, and you pop free of the grasping darkness. only for her, as you are freed up, she shoots forward and she grabs your throat and she looks you dead straight in the eye and she says, "You exist at my will. You serve my will. If I deem you ready for destruction, I will destroy you. You exist only to support me and no other purpose."
She's not going to reply to that. She's just going to give a nod as likely the pressure on her throat is too tight for her to breathe to speak.
Uh,
There's still a hint of betrayal, anger behind her eyes, but she nods.
she drops you down and she says, "The next time you consider acting up like this, I will stake you and cut your arm off with sunlight."
She drops, she goes down on her knees as she slowly tries to recover the mobility of her limbs. She looks up to her. What do you plan to do in regards to the prince's commands?
"I plan to use this as best as I can. If he thinks being Scourge will keep me busy, well, he's right, but I will use that to my advantage. I will build an army."
You're going to build an army? An army of what?
That's for me to know and you to assist.
Of course, mistress. Whatever you desire.
The shadows begin to clear, and uh, she steps out.
Abner steps out along with her. I am shaking off a bit of the after effects of the shadows, perhaps for the first time since feeling a sensation of fear of the shadows, sensation of more, panic that's perhaps not too different from what she inspires on others. She has a bit of a haunted look on her face as she looks around for the rest of her coterie.
Probably wasn't in the same room, but she was probably nearby. So
Yes, you would
if
all be right nearby, actually, I would think.
yeah, when the shadows dissipate, Hat will probably like step forward and just grab Alwyn's hand, like, and just not say anything, but just look at her, give a gentle look.
Abner looks over to Hatshep to give her a nod of appreciation for the attempt at comfort. And she's going to mouth a thank you for her.
Hmm. We should get back to the Haven. We need to plan more on how to handle this.
I already know how we are going to handle this. We are going to play our parts. Because there is no other option. There's a bit of defeated look on her, defeated sound to her voice as she speaks.
Albina, doing our part with no questions at all, no thinking about things, is how we got here. Do not let the path your sire just took influence you too much.
How can I not? The prince spoke. My sire spoke. Has all been spoken?
Did you not just say that your clan was meant to stand proud? Fulfill what needs to be fulfilled, but do it on your terms.
Perhaps. She starts thinking a bit. She looks a bit thoughtful. She glances over at the dark night sky before looking back to Hatshepsut. Perhaps what she has done is going as not lying when I told to her that what she did as a stain that never left the clan. Perhaps going higher up would yield allies behind her. Allies that may be willing to stand against her should she try to pull something like this again.
We will have to give it more thought. In the meantime, well, let's leave here before anyone might get curious.
She nods, and I imagine they go looking for the rest of the coterie.
I don't have much to say. You got balls.
I think after sort of leaving the building, Labiena would have already begun making her way back to the group haven whilst all that had been going on. She just needed some time alone to sort of sit and think before the others got back.
All fair.
Did you near your sire exit without the permission of the prince regarding?
No. She only said that she'd use this opportunity to hunt down the werewolves of the city, to expose and destroy them. And I believe that she is acting behind the back of the prince.
Well, in one sense, she's getting her wish.
In one sense, yes, but not in one that benefits her, or most important, us.
On that note, why don't all of you guys make a intelligence and politics roll?
Oh, okay.
But even me?
Yep.
Even while I'm not
Everybody.
there? Okay.
Intelligence, politics. Okay.
Difficulty?
6.
Nice roll, Labiena. 210.
Alright. Hatshepsut, Labiena, and Albina. There is one way to directly benefit from this. It will require a little bit of effort, though. Camilla did say that he was authorizing his new Praetor Urbanus the ability to select sub-praetors to help in her duties.
And they could petition to Anana to take up these positions under her.
Correct. It would
It's also the
require a lot
matter-
of work, but this is a way to directly benefit.
There is also the matter of the domain that's being seized. He also said that he'll be distributing as he sees fit. And if we manage to get ourselves in a position where we might be deemed to be fit under his eyes,
Yeah, it's possible you could. It will take a lot of effort, but
Wait.
obviously your sire's going to be looking to earn that back.
Mm-hmm. And wait, Praetor is a dangerous work. Being sub-Praetor would be even more dangerous work because you would be in the front lines.
Quick.
You're talking about fighting lupines and maybe some other kindreds, essentially.
Well,
Quick.
the job of the praetor is to Well, I'll tell you what. Before I announce that, why don't Hatchet ask her question, and then we'll talk a little bit about that.
Um, Something I'm curious on. Because he said those who assisted her, bear some of the responsibility for this. Is this going to include people who came here on boons? Came there on boons?
That would be a question to ask or not. Um, the one who passed down the sentence, or perhaps his praetor urbanus.
Right, so when we're going to talk stuff with her, we can just ask for clarification on that.
Yep. Now, here's the danger. Did he summon you because he knew you were part of this, or did he just assume you were part of it because you were in a coterie?
He did behave like as if it was on Albina's part to convince us to help her. It was expected from her as a somewhere to, take a command of her coterie. At least she behaved like that when, we talked with Albina's sire, essentially, a few times.
Do you have
Well,
something,
it is hard.
Labiana? Go ahead.
It is hard to know for sure, but I suppose it would be more likely the latter of the two.
And before I say this last thing, I'll give you guys one more intelligent or wits and politics roll.
Not invited the Gale and Laetia, so I'd imagine if he was working under the Bones idea, he would have brought them along.
So wits and politics this time instead of intelligence
Correct.
politics?
Yes, wits. Because he uttered a certain phrase, and I'm not going to say it unless you give me, so close, not quite enough successes there. Yeah, there was a way he phrased something
Prince?
which would tell you what he was thinking, but I'm not going to point it
Is,
out.
you mean Prince?
But I'll let you guys think about that, and maybe you can come up with it on your own.
Was it to do with that down to the third generation thing?
There you go.
I was going to say, sadly, I can't even remember what he said.
But like down to the third generation of the sire, or like down to the third generation of everyone who helps? What kind of down to the third generation I'm talking about?
I don't know. Which one of you has a Childa in this group?
I do.
What?
So in short, here I meant all of my immediate bloodline.
That's exactly it. He threatened her entire bloodline.
Up to the third generation, to be specific.
I mean, as far as the notion has up to the third generation. Me, herself, me, and Catalina.
Yeah. But the moment your child gets a child herself, that kindred will be safe.
But considering how the prince controls who can and cannot embrace,
I know. I never said she's going to embrace someone. Close
Legally.
proximity.
Legally.
Right.
All right. Let us jump forward as you consider what's happened here. About 8 months.
Do you remember my project?
I do. Let's jump forward about 8 months. As a group, you are all getting together to discuss something for Hatshepsut. Vlad, would you like to take the floor to discuss how you arrive?
Oh yeah, but I have to make a roll first.
No, you don't. Just discuss.
Okay. How I joined the group?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, because of my previous experiences, I will dedicate sending, using my animalism to send a bird with a message hanging on its leg or claw, whatever. Send it to the group domain and let the coterie know I am coming, and they should watch the door carefully. if they do not want their patrols to be scared again. After that, I will simply obfuscate and go to the coterie place and just as usual knock the door with my transformed appearance if possible.
I don't see why not. So you guys, one of you, I'm sure, assuming, opens the door for him.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, Vlad.
Okay. The moment you open the door, I assume you would look at the normal hate level or something like that. So the moment you open the door, what you see is not Vlad's chest or hair, head or something like that. Instead, you see a horse body, living tissue kind of horse body with four legs. But instead of the neck and the head of the horse, you see simply the upper body of Vlad, including the arms and the head of himself in human form. He looks like what will be defined centaur.
Yes,
He,
a Zamisi centaur just showed up at your door.
yes, he looks down at you and says, and again, the special thing is that the horse body seemingly is still uh, in quote living tissue. It's not dead corpse or anything.
Interesting.
Albina's
Good evening.
eyes go.
Good evening.
Albina's eyes go a little bit wide, in slight surprise in what she's seeing, and admittedly kind of just utters, "Well, I thought I'd never see a centaur in real life."
I,
How did you do this?
that I would love to talk about. It took me the last couple of 8 years or something like that. I simply studied the body of this animal. I made sure I knew everything about the how to describe it. Tethers that connect the tissue in a way so that it functions. I connected these tethers to my own body, and voila, here I am, merged with a living, living body of a horse.
Anyway, you'd better come in.
Of
Yeah.
course.
We don't want people to pass by seeing this.
Indeed.
I just imagine, like, someone passing down the street. Wait, is that a centaur? That's a centaur. That's an actual centaur. What the hell?
This is literally the reason I bought Obfuscate, just so I could do some crazy stuff without worrying about being seen.
I love it too. I absolutely love it.
So, what's our plans for tonight?
Hatshepsut, this is your chance.
Alright. I have reason to believe that an individual by the name of... God damn it, I forgot the, middle name again.
Cornelius. Cornelius.
I have reason to believe that the individual Lucius Cornelius Sulla is going to be very important to the flow of events in the next few later in the coming years. I believe if we could establish, we're at a point, based on what I've discovered, we're at a point where we could potentially establish some hooks in him now and reap the rewards at relatively little cost later. I have the start of a plan to try and make contact with him, and build such influence.
It's all good what you're saying, but if you do recall, the last time you interacted with a human figure from Roman politics, you did told me it went downhill quite quickly as well. Are you sure the same thing won't happen this time again? And sorry, but I also have to say, and did you check if your names and faces are forgotten among the human politicians?
That is actually a good question, and one of the first things Gaius did after he was elected was reverse the banishments of all who got banished after Tiberius was murdered, and he passed a law that was made retroactive, that was specifically targeted at the people who targeted all of you guys and all of his other supporters. Um, Basically said if you banish a Roman without trial, you are able to be executed. And as soon as that came up for a vote, that guy ran because he knew it was going to be passed. So, in terms of legal effects, you can go by your real names or whatever names you decide to go by.
Considering our experience from last time, might be better to follow the advice from Camilla's and keep a distance. Use what's the word, middleman to deal with this.
I
I was actually going to say, I am wondering if, enough time has passed that we could potentially start coming up with aliases.
This brings me on to some other notes, because I have reason to believe that there's relatively little chance of other supernaturals meddling with him, because right now, quite frankly, there is very little of apparent significance to him. Comparatively, at least. I heard a story about someone giving some sort of vague prophecy about him at one point, but compared to some of the other figures out there, not so much a focus of attention.
Mm. So, Hatshepsut, are you able to elaborate a little further on exactly how this man is going to be, as you said, important to us in the future? Anything at all?
The precise details, I will admit, are vague. However, through my own methods of reading the flow of things, well, it has been made very clear that how he thinks and what he acts for is going to be a significant factor in reshaping things over the next in reshaping Roman society, essentially. I fully acknowledge that in some ways this might seem too little to go on, which is why I'm part of why I'm willing to take take a boon towards each of you for your assistance. I realize it's a lot to trust.
It is a lot to trust, yes, but I believe that it is a fair offering that you make.
To note some some ideas that I've. Was it? Okay. In in essence, if you wish for boons to be given, for me to give boons, it will depend on precisely how much assistance you decide you're willing to lend me. For, if you significantly put yourselves out there, I'm more than willing to get to owe a major boon. For small things, I think a minor should do. But we can elaborate on the details when I've brought up the base fragments of my plan so far. Based on what I've been able to gather, the young Sola is something of a party animal, let's say. Spending a lot of time around actors and performers and other such people of low repute. I believe this, especially considering our new patron, provides a solid opportunity in which to first make contact. I also believe that, well, I can't confirm this, but it seems likely to me that his education on certain matters is incomplete. Though he is of a noble family, though he is of a notable family, his finances are not exactly the best right now. Thus, I've been thinking of approaching him personally as as a potential tutor.
A tutor in what matters?
Rhetoric and general academia are the main things I was thinking of. I do also know a little bit of tactics. I might be able to provide some pointers there, but I think giving more formal schooling on rhetoric and related matters is perhaps the simplest option, is perhaps the most reliable option. Oh, also languages, if he, depending on if he knows which ones he might know. Regardless, uh, by getting him in this way, I should be able to subtly work to establish a bit of loyalty to us in what time we have.
You plan to present yourself as a model figure to use your position as a tutor as a way to secure his, uh, if not his friendship, then at least his trust.
Yes, essentially. Which mm, one matter in which I might be able to get help from Vlad. I apologize if I'm rambling. I've been spending perhaps a bit too long contemplating these matters. It set my mind in a bit of a spin. But Vlad, you are capable of molding the bodies of others. as well as yourself. At the risk of being blunt, would it be possible for you to make me more physically attractive? Um, it may well come up, who knows? Best,
I
better,
can, I can definitely do that. But you must understand, my skills take time and finesse. Even pain must be endured to survive the process. So, of course, I can help you for a minor boon to transform your current BT to better one.
I'm perfectly willing to handle that.
Well, then come to me when you wish, and we can do the um, surgery.
Indeed. For the rest, beyond that though, before we get that dealt with, do either of you have any additional comments based on what I've noted so far?
I'm thinking that my position in this, if I choose to, may be better suited to sticking to the shadows and perhaps sticking with information gathering on Torment. It could be useful to find any and all little bits of information about this man, which we could then potentially use to our benefit later on.
That would be appreciated, actually. We're going to have to act soon, I suspect, but in the meantime, any information is good information. Well, unless it's false information, but that's its own thing. Albany?
Something that I imagine that you have already examined to see if he has other tutors, other people that you might need to replace before you are able to get their spot.
This is something that should be looked into, yes. I. Perhaps this is arrogance talking, but I'm convinced that while I'm not a master of my well, I wouldn't say I'm a master of the subjects. I am fairly confident that I'm more skilled than what they could usually afford.
You see, I will be glad to assist you in such matters.
Mm. Per- perhaps, perhaps you have some prominence. Perhaps you could be giving me as a recommendation.
I could, I could perhaps also sponsor you if they believe that if they are in a financial difficult position, if they believe that they are not going to incur any costs on hiring you, they would be predisposed to choosing you over any of the other options.
Indeed. Uh, indeed. But I believe the main thing then, is trying to either find an event that he's going to be going to and approaching him there, or else organising one ourselves.
He enjoys art, our patron enjoys art. We could arrange to have a celebrations of some kind of a great show of the burning of Carthage, perhaps.
Could be an interesting one, I suppose. We can workshop out the details on that one. But I believe we have the basic outline for our plans, yes? Thank you again for your assistance in this matter, all of you.
Of course, Hatshepsut.
Think
My
nothing.
pleasure.
Thinking of it, it is a pleasure to assist you after everything that has we have done together.
And for now, well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just get the process of altering done now. So, do you wish to do it in a specific location, Vlad?
If you can send your servants to somewhere else, if you worry about them seeing it, then you can do that. Either case, I am totally fine with doing the surgery here in this place right now.
Hmm.
Just send them to another room.
All right, all right. So I'm going to make sure that no one's coming in here, no windows closed, and just note. If the two of you wish to leave and not see this, then that's perfectly understandable. If not, you're welcome to stay.
I am curious about this. It was not
Mm.
often that I got to watch these arts being performed ever since my Alexio found his final death.
Mm.
I
As
will
am I.
go.
I do believe that I'm fascinated by watching the manipulation of living flesh almost as much as the manipulation of dead flesh.
I will go and clear a table big enough for Head to lie on. There's probably such a table in this place, I assume.
All right. As far as dice rolls go, you are going to roll dexterity and body crafts. You need
Yes.
10 successes total. It's an extended roll.
Okay. To increase his appearance by how much?
To go from appearance 2 to appearance 4.
10 success. Okay. And normal difficulty as usual, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. And it's you said long. It takes several roll, right?
Do
Okay.
as many rolls as you need.
Okay. Okay.
Now, Hatshepsut,
Then
this
Oh,
hurts like nothing you've ever felt.
just in case, maybe tie my arms
oh, I
to,
will. Yeah,
to
I will actually describe that right now. Before I start the process, Vlad will make sure Head's leg and hands are flesh crafted in a way that she won't be able to, move them around or anything. And he will also close Head's mouth so that she doesn't try to bite him while
Right.
he is increasing her appearance.
So here's what Vlad does to you. What he does is he takes the skin on your biceps, on your forearm, and on your hamstrings and calves, and he grabs it, and you feel this is not pleasant at all, not in the least. You feel it smush like super thick, hard river clay. And his fingers squeeze, and instead of penetrating into your flesh, it just shifts. And he warps that skin into all the cracks and crevices of the table. So it like bulges out underneath it. You could, in theory, break away. You will suffer a whole shitload of damage if you do.
I'm gonna try to ride it out.
As far he needs to leave your jaw free to move in order to get the jaw shape just correct and the muscles and everything. But what he can do is he can just take your hair and tie it back and basically knots it to the table. So if you try to snap at him or move your head too hard, it's going to rip most of your
Oh,
hair out.
Oh yeah. Just as we're starting, I'm just gonna think for a moment and just say we may also want to sound. We may also want to try and put something up to block sound.
Well,
Vlad can handle that too by just closing off your throat.
yeah.
Nice.
And after that process, I will start essentially molding her skin, body to look like much more beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe increase her cheekbones, make her jaw more, outstanding. Play a little bit with the nose, make it more fine. Play with the eyes, eyebrows, make them look better. Clean the skin a little bit of some, disturbance, whatever it may be. Maybe make it a little bit essentially fresh looking, and stuff like that. And I will also, shift her rest of her body as well to a better look, give more curves and features.
Right.
Yeah, I'm curious. Were you deliberately trying to avoid the crass obvious example?
Hatshepsut, do you ask him to be gentle or not?
No. I want. If he decides to be gentle of its own accord, then whatever. But I'm gonna take this as it comes.
I mean, as long as Het does not say it herself, I don't think gentle is something Vlad remembers instinctively. So he will just do as normal, or
Okay.
it will do just as normal.
You don't like purposely make it more painful, do you?
No, I don't purposefully
So
make it.
that
No,
being
I don't.
said, there's no easy way to do this. This hurts like literally nothing you've ever felt before in your life. He's got to open up your flesh and expose the raw, sizzling nerves and muscle tissue underneath your skin, so he can get to the bone and push the cheekbones just in the right way. Um, he Then he's got to fix the musculature, and he's got to put your skin back out, and he's got to smooth it and shape it and fix the tone and the shading. Uh, he's got to go in and pull and twist, and he squeezes until your hair follicles pop out, or if he wants hair to be where it's not, or he takes and smooths and pulls the hair out. Um, Adjust your tongue a little bit, adjust your teeth straightness a little bit, your jaw structure, the point, and it's all one little bit here, a little bit there. But being a masochist, and on the particular path you're on, you might actually enjoy this. Enjoy and take the pain.
Hmm. I think through certain points, enjoy wouldn't be quite the right word, but definitely find it satisfying.
All right. So Vlad, you're starting to a 1, 2, 3, 4,
Wait a minute.
5. Yeah. Vlad, you're starting to make progress. It's taken him
That's
about
just a fail.
about half an hour so far to do what he's doing. However, unfortunately, towards the end, making the final super tiny tweaks, he's got to slow down a little. After a full hour of literal torture, the process is finished. He fixes your skin on your arms and legs, releases your hair, releases all of your bonds, and allows you to stand up.
Whew. That was.
Yeah, imagine getting a root canal and a bunch of cavities filled without any kind of Novocaine or anything like that, and that's a fraction of the pain you just felt.
That was. I'm not sure amazing is the right word, but it's the closest one I can find.
I'm happy that you found the experience enlightening. Feel free to experience it in future if you so desire. You know where to find me. I must say, despite physical looks are something I left behind I don't know how many years ago, you do look good. Maybe it's just me embracing my own skills here, but you do look good.
Thank you. How much experience would it be to make it permanent?
It will be 10 to go from 2 to 3.
Shit. Can I take that of experience?
Sure, I'll let you do that. How much is it going to put you in the hole by?
4.
That's a lot of debt.
Sorry? Oh, by the way, just to be clear, if what happens if she doesn't make it permanent?
It reverts at sunrise, during the course of the day.
Okay, so I just say to her then. I've seen some people stay the way they are, but it's quite rare it happens. So I can tell you that if you are not an exceptional case, like some others, you will be back to your normal self by the end of this night, by the end of the day.
We will see. To be honest, I consider just the experience of that worth the boon. So I think we can call it fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go 4 in debt to get the permanent +1. So I won't be quite as good as you left me by the day's end, but I'll still be noticeably improved.
Um, Wait, I have to get to Chris. I have a question. Uh, when the subject increases their appearance permanently after such an alteration, would the Zmishi take it as a compliment to their own skills? You know, they did it so good that the subject does not become their old self and look, different permanently.
I mean, I would think that varies by Zamisi, but I don't see why not.
Okay. I was just curious. What's the general take of this happening?
All right.
All right. And with that done, I believe we should go to seeing about arranging this celebration. And out of character, I will be right back.
All right, guys.
If anyone else
Let's
wants
take
to
5.
do
Let's take 5. We'll come back in a bit.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, you are all gussied up for a night on the town. How you
What?
gonna go about? So you're all gussied up for a night on the town. So how you gonna go about it? Let's hear it.
Oh, I suppose first, let's just see if there's any going on right now that we can crash. Try and see if there are any, or would I have known of any, kinds of celebrations and so forth that Stella might be at tonight?
Well, as a matter of fact, since your patron is Alexander and he keeps up with all that stuff, he does know of something called an Atellan farce, which is a comedy of a certain type that is going on tonight, and in fact should be, if the timing is correct, it may have just ended.
Well then, best hurry to try and see if we can catch him. So yeah, I'm gonna just if anyone wants to follow, they can, but I'm just gonna head off and take a look, see what's going on over there.
All right. So the farce, the comedy, it takes place in an extremely small amphitheater type area, kind of crude, homemade. Uh, there's a bunch of still open bars and wine bars, and some the food restaurants are all closed down though. And there is a successful brothel right nearby. Uh, the actors and actresses, musicians, seem to be partying quite hard. They're having a good conversation as you come up. They've still got the traditional face paint and everything on. They haven't even changed out of some of their ending costumes and such.
All right, I'm gonna try and mingle with the crowd, see if I can keep an eye out for the guy.
All right, yeah. You mingle with the crowd. Uh, Carousing, man. That would be a great ability to have right about now. Give me a charisma and, ooh, I want to say empathy.
Etiquette, perhaps.
Yeah, give me a charisma and etiquette roll to blend in. Party hardy.
I would like to spend a willpower on this.
Sure. Remember, you are one willpower point down for this session.
This is true. Actually, when I've gotten the willpower back from the mess that just happened.
Oh, you are a masochist, huh? You know what? I will actually agree to that. I think that was enough to refresh your confidence within yourself. That
Yeah,
you endured this, and even if you were physically blocked from making a sound, you still didn't make a sound. So, yeah.
diff 6, was it?
Yeah, we'll be diff 6. I don't see any reason to make it any harder than that.
Alright, that's total 1 success. Good thing I spent that willpower.
Yep, so 2 successes. No major stumbles. Uh, they're having a tough time believing you were there, but you do come across as a groupie. Someone who just shows up to these things because you like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're talking about it. They're talking about Lucius did a hell of a job out. He outdid himself this time. That talking. Oh man, all the really made fun of his family and his cousins and oh man, that one line that they did, man, just outstanding to Lucius. Yeah, and there's a bunch of cheering and clapping and people downing stuff and um, everybody's having a good old time just talking.
Do I come across the man himself at any point?
You do not, but he can't be far. He's not going to be. He's not going to. He's not going to be going far from his adoring fans and player and actors, is he?
True. I'm gonna try and gonna basically try and over a while just slowly scan around the area, like basically slipping in and out of the crowd, so that it looks like I'm not like fully leaving, but just like taking quick breaks for whatever reason.
All right, give me a manipulation and subterfuge roll to ask around. You want to make it look like you want to congratulate him. Talk to him about how great he is, so on and so forth.
1 success.
One, um, everyone starts pointing to the brothel.
Ah, of course. All right, I'm head on over that way. See if I can see if I can. Well, if he's in a private room, I won't be able to find him at the moment. But
Yeah, you walk in, standard. It's a standard house layout. A bunch of a hallway going back, some stairs going up. The Someone who is at the front of the house comes up. Welcome, welcome. Can we help you tonight? You looking for a good time? A man, woman, boy? We have it all. We can help you.
Hmm. Hold on a second. I need to gather my thoughts out of character. Yeah. Um, I'll take a look around, but I'll look at what you have. But first, real quick, I was told that a friend I was looking for came in here recently. Just wanted to check if that might be true.
Oh, well, I mean, we get a lot of visitors, but who is it?
Um, Lucius Cornelius Sulla.
Oh, another fan of Lucius, huh? Oh, well, yeah, he's a little bit occupied right now with Nicopolis, so you know, but I don't know that he's ever turned down another beautiful woman joining him. So if you want to pay the fee to join Nicopolis in her bed, we might be able to go talk to her about it.
Hmm. You know what? Yeah, let's go with. I think that would be perfectly fine.
All right. Well, they collect the fee from you, and they go up stairs to another room, and they come back down a few minutes later, and they're like, "Yeah, let's." They said come right on up. They take you to a room, and they open the door, and what you see is a bed. Uh, a, this looks like to be a sumptuously laid out room. Um, Thick drapes, rich, vibrant colors. The bed looks very large and soft. There's rugs on the floor that look to be quite expensive. Silver and gold cups and plates on the well done dressers. Um, and in the bed, looking towards the door, is a naked woman who looks to be somewhat mature, maybe 40, 35. She's got, she's naked laying there, breasts out, and her head is on the chest of a boy, and he's a boy. Number one, because of the way he looks. Number two, he still has that, what they call a bulla, Bulla, and it's a bit of his placenta in a bag that's tied around his neck, and that's the mark. When that comes off, it's marked as an adult. That's your adulthood. And
Huh.
he's got his arm around her, possessively. The smell of sex hangs heavy in the room. And they kind of look at you and they're like, well, what a. She's like tracing little circles on his chest, and he's kind of sitting there, kind of languid. Um, everything hanging out for inspection, as it were.
Um. So, presuming that I'm not like misunderstanding out of character, Hat's gonna go on and join in, and we don't need to necessarily go into too much
Well,
detail on
when
that.
you go to join in, they actually recoil a little bit,
Oh.
and they're like, "What's wrong with you? You're cold, chilly."
Oh, sorry, I've been a bit outside a bit too long, perhaps. I'm going to try and spend some blood to try and get some more blood flowing to try and overcome that.
All right. Um, you're gonna have to spend 2 blood to activate Blush of Life or Blush of Health.
Blood spent.
All right. Um, then you join in, and you do as these things happen.
Uh,
And
and
afterwards, he's laying in the middle, and he's got a woman on each arm.
now I'm gonna be blunt on an out of character level. I have no idea how to do pillow talk, so basically, Hat's gonna like just generally try and try and worm some general rapport building into pillow talk, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You start talking about a shared background, childhood, family, goals, things like that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's understandable. Um, Lucius, he doesn't talk much about his family. He talks more about how the actors that he hangs out with. And remember, the profession of actors and singers are pretty much the lowest of the low. Even
Mhm.
prostitutes are about on the same level,
Mhm.
right? So he's hanging around some as low as you can get without hanging out with slaves. You know what I mean? And criminals.
Well, in a lot of cases, the actors would be slaves. So,
Yeah, he doesn't really talk too much about his actual family, just more that uh, his frustrations that
mm.
only these people they understand, they know what he's going through. They are his family and his friends and uh, his accompaniment.
um, gonna try and at one point guide the conversation to his plans for the near future. What do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna do once he well once that once that what was the word buller comes off of him.
In about a year, and then he's going to be shipped off uh, to the military. It's already been decided. It's not something he's looking forward to. It's something his parents have decided is going to happen to him, and he doesn't get a choice.
Hmm. Uh, okay then a different point. Try and shift to trying to fit. Try to needle. Trying to get a better understanding of what schooling he might have been given, if any.
He's actually decently well educated, and surprisingly, so is Nicopolis. She, as you are talking, like they start talking about Greek philosophers, and she contributes intelligently to the conversation. She is more than a prostitute. You are getting the impression.
Hmm. That is interesting.
So he actually comes across as somewhat well educated, not as well as many of the noble children that you've met. Uh,
Hmm. What theoretically? I'm not going to bring it up yet, but theoretically, does it still seem like an arrange that that Hat could theoretically help with pointers on?
yes, yes, you could.
Hmm. Um, and basically, final thing is going to be trying to basically get the equivalent of getting his card, or getting his number, but
Um,
get in touch with him maybe some other time.
well, come back in another week, and I'll have another play to put on. So, you can always meet up with me then.
Sounds good. And yeah, just spend the rest of the night general rapport building. Don't want to do too much too fast.
Yep. All right. Fast forward a week.
Uh, oh yeah, and go again, meet up,
You
mingle.
start inserting yourself into his life.
Yeah,
Right, a little bit at a
and
time.
yeah, and once I've gotten a bit in, I'm going to bring up the possibility of giving of going to bring up the note that I'm decently educated and that I might be able to act as a sort of as a as a quick tutor for some things that he maybe wasn't able to afford a full instruction on. You get what I mean, right?
Well, yeah. What he questions you on your ability. What's your dancing like? What's your singing like? What's your appreciation of certain playwrights and trends in music? Uh, do you have connections among winemakers and shippers? What's your resources like? You know, because he needs money to put these plays on. He's got to pay people.
Hmm. Um. Well, I'm going to probably have to borrow resources from Albina for this, so obviously I'm not mentioning that.
Or
Um.
Alexander, because that's also what he's
Yeah.
there for. So
Oh yeah. So I do have connections at least, and yeah, I'm going to be there. And as for there.
yeah, so he I'm looking at your character sheet. You can teach him. There's academics you can teach him. You can certainly teach him some occult stuff. And he can even learn a little bit about leadership from you and a little bit of expression.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
there is stuff you can teach him, valuable stuff.
And yeah, do I need to make anything to like convince him to give it a shot?
No,
Or
we're just gonna kind of narrate this a little bit. You start meeting up with him a little bit at a time. A night here, a night there. You know, a little bit of free times. And you know, mind you, you know how to do this. Hamas has guided you through this process several times. You don't
Mhm.
ask for anything at first.
Yeah.
You just show up. We're friends. We're buddies. I appreciate what you're doing here. I appreciate the things. Oh, hey, did you know that there is a whole other religion in Greece revolving around such and such a deity? Hey, let's talk about that. No, so that's how you start working your occult knowledge in. You work your academics knowledge in. You start talking
Mhm.
about battles that you've been in and personal anecdotes about leadership. You know, giving him verbal oral lessons to absorb, in much in the tradition of Socrates and Plato.
Mhm.
6 months goes by. You have pretty well inserted yourself as one of his informal tutors.
Mm. Um, do I mean? Am I able in that time to also just, if I get the opportunity, shift his attitudes a bit? Um, there, shift his attitudes a bit. Just in those 6 months.
Well, that's what we're about to make a roll for. I'm not. I wasn't going to make you roll for inserting yourself. We are going to make a
Ah,
roll for you to manipulate his inherent nature to begin
yeah.
installing the tenets of Set. Let's make a manipulation. Well, first off, what's the first lesson you want to impart as a quote unquote Setite? What lesson do you want to impart here? What's the first thing?
Hmm. Decisions. Maybe focus at first on how. Maybe try and focus at first on how the conventional way of doing things isn't always infallible, and sometimes a bit of editing is needed, so to speak, to make things right when things have gotten stagnant and just or even just fallen apart already. Bring things together that have fallen apart, dust off the cobwebs of things that have ossified. Am I making any sense?
So
For some,
if I were to say the revelation of chaos, would that mean anything to you?
that could be. Yeah, hold on. I need to double check the gates of revelation. But I think that's sort of in the vein of what I'm going for.
So if I were you, I'll tell you what. I'll let you look at that for a second. But there's essentially one, two. There's two gates of revelation that I would say would be an easier sell, and there's gates that would be much more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Desire, maybe?
That would be one of the easier ones.
Go with that then.
Well, what do you want to destroy? The inducement of pleasure in revolting acts. To shatter the false self image of pride.
Well, first we're going to need to figure out what he finds revolting.
Uh, across 6 months of conversation, which is the reason you spent so much time with him in the first place. What does he find
Yep.
revolting? What do you think he finds revolting? A man, I use that term loosely, who has rejected hanging out with his family, who has expressed disdain for the military course, which is fundamental to Rome. Who hangs out with actors and the disreputable, knowingly and of his own desire. What do you think he finds revolting?
High society?
I would say that he perceives such tradition based behavior as little more than being selfish. That people don't do this anymore because they genuinely feel this way. It's not what they genuinely want to do. What he wants to do is hang out with actors. His family wants him to join the military. His family wants him to reclaim their lost wealth and their status. He doesn't give a shit.
Hmm.
So if you're going to induce him to find pleasure in an act he finds revolting, then you need to induce him to find pleasure in statecraft, perhaps.
Ah, there we go. I'm going. Okay, then I'll try to, yeah, give him an appreciation for the finer bits of crafting, statecraft, politicking, that kind of thing.
There you go. And this good portion of where your leadership comes in. He actually knows more about politics than you do just from being exposed to it. But
Mm.
he thinks it's fucking stupid. And
He knows more about the
yeah,
nature of politics, but not necessarily some of the processes.
yeah, he knows more about the nature of politics, but the actual exercise of power in the form of leadership, you know more about. Right. So, off the top of your head, how would you get him to exercise pleasure in such a manner? And feel free to ask for help from your other coterie members.
Yeah, I'd like to use my one phone call.
Yeah, phone a friend. Well, Labiana, you've been doing some scout work, so let's ask you first. Do you have any ideas? Labiana.
Okay, hello?
I am.
Are you still
We
muted?
can't hear you. We can't hear you. She's not muted right now.
Muted.
My mic switched itself off again. It
Ah,
does
okay.
that from time to time.
There you go. All
But
right, so we were asking for some help here.
Okay.
What you got?
Okay, so as I was trying to say when I realised the mic wasn't transmitting, I do recall one little bit of information that you mentioned, Chris, regarding his family. Perhaps helping him to gain some control over his own family, or dominance, in a sense. Maybe.
That's actually an excellent suggestion.
Yeah, because
Uh,
that's also something we might have an easier time convincing him to try and do as well. You know, take
also, your clan, or I should say, because of your road, you personally like pain and suffering and such, right? Hatshepsut, I mean.
yeah.
Maybe it would make sense if you make him like politics and do it in a way that he does inflict pain on some people, maybe certain people. I don't know. That's more out of character, though. Like maybe you can make him like politics in a way that he likes to inflict pain through politics on others.
Or perhaps more specifically, because pain without purpose is, I feel like the Catholic word of, faith without works is dead. Pain without purpose is waste. But perhaps get him towards using power to teach a lesson to those who've maybe wronged him.
Well,
Because
I very much like Labiana's idea.
yeah, I think that's the one I'm going to focus on.
All right. So, quick question: how would you set such a thing up? What manufacture a crisis that he has to solve? Something like that.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
All right. So, give me a roll, and anybody who's helping him in this process, Hatchepsut has agreed to owe you a major boon, if I remember correctly. So, by a show of yes on the chat, who all is helping?
Do we need to roll anything if you're helping?
No.
It's adding to my role.
No, I don't think. I think I might fuck up, so I'm not helping just because I might fuck up.
Like you literally don't have
I
to
don't
help.
want-
You don't have to do anything. This is you're adding dice.
Okay.
Goes to
In exchange of a major boon, you say?
Yes.
Sure. Let's go yes then.
to make an
All right. Hatchepsut, adding 3 dice. Roll your manipulation. Let's go with legerdemain. And your influence and or allies. Or influence or allies.
May I spend a willpower on this?
Sure. Yes, you can.
Because and it has to be legend domain, huh?
Well, what else would you recommend to set such a situation up? Could be politics. Could be.
Empathy, maybe?
I wouldn't say empathy because you're trying to manipulate a whole bunch of people to do something.
Oh, a whole bunch of people.
Could subterfuge be permissible?
I don't think that fits for this task because you're attempting to
Leadership.
guide a whole situation is what you're doing.
What about leadership? Because it involves many people.
Well, leadership is leading.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go with politics.
Okay.
Well, you should already have a high dice because of all the backgrounds and us helping, so it should be fine.
You say that, but I happen to not have dots in either of those backgrounds.
Well,
Well,
good luck then.
would you like to, for another major boon, would you like to add some more dice via Ihamus?
Fuck it, yeah.
Okay. He will allow you access to his network. So for another major boon to Ihamus, gain 3 more dice.
Nice. Good job.
He has
So,
a lot of influence.
makes
And-
sense.
And I am going to spend. Can I spend a willpower for this, actually?
Yes, you can.
No.
Nice.
That
Nice.
is 4 successes.
Hopefully that's all you needed.
All right. Well, 4 is quite successful to set up this situation. Over the course of several weeks, you talk to certain debt holders. People start to call in loans that they've given him or given to their family. They begin to call in certain favors that he has to owe. They begin to pressure the family. They start, hey, we're going to come in and we're going to take your jewelry, we're going to take your silverware, we're going to kick you out of your house, so on and so forth. And each crisis, his father, for some reason, is unable to fully manage. And he has to step in. He has to step in and succeed where his father failed. And what you see is he begins to treat his father with a little bit of disgust and disdain. He never respected his father in the first place. Now his father seems weak to him. So yeah, you actually begin to see the pride. He begins to be more prideful in his abilities. A little bit more, well, I guess I can do this stuff, and I guess I have to be the one to fix things around here. And nobody else is going to be able to do it. I guess I have to.
I have to fix things, and this
Yep.
is why I'm sending out a hit list against all my political opponents.
So he begins to take pleasure and pride in being like, the rest of you guys are so fucking stupid. I guess I got to fix it for you, again.
He's becoming cocky.
So he's losing that little bit of innocence that he had to him, of look, man, life just needs to be, happy and party, and we should all be able to have a good time. And he's now being pulled more towards statehood, even though he hated it in the first place, and he still hates it, but he's taking pride and pleasure in what he hates, which is in fact the point of this whole exercise. Yeah, Sedites are kind of fucking good at this shit.
Ten dice also helps.
All right, you
Just
might have
be
time to
clear.
do one more. What else would you do to him to really get your, to do what we all know you're actually doing, which is corrupt him out of character. So, but yes, you have a few more months before he is shipped out to military.
I have 2 ideas on other option revelations to go for. One of which might be the easier one. One of the other easier ones we'll have to, but either revelation of ecstasy or satiety.
Well, you make your choice.
Which one do you think will be the easiest to steal before he is shipped out?
Throw a coin, maybe. Roll
Let's go.
dice.
Let's try and go with satiety.
All right. How would you do such a thing with him?
Perhaps see if they're trying get. So he's a party animal. Is there any specific vice that he seems particularly predisposed to enjoying, like alcohol, women?
Oh, you very often find him in the arms of the one woman that you initially met with him. Nicopolis. You find him there quite a bit. He does. He very much loves the theater. He loves dancing and singing. He does love writing plays, and he likes to drink a lot. Like, he must have the liver of a 40-year-old man. Seriously, that's how much he drinks.
Well, let's try and push that a bit further then. Let's try and make him just get a little too much into the drink.
Right? Manipulation and we're gonna go manipulation and empathy as you begin to play on his fears and desires. Poking and prodding and driving the desires that he has to drink. And again, add 4 dice for all the people helping you.
Not spending enough willpower. I've spent a lot of this session, but
Worth it.
That is 5 successes. Holy shit!
All right.
Hey, there you go.
You drive him one night. He finally snaps. And he drinks and he drinks and he drinks. Way, way more than any 15-year-old should possibly be able to imbibe.
Note to self. Note to self. Investigate if he is actually a demigod.
And
This isn't going to be pretty.
as you are sitting in the brothel one night, you hear shrieking from the room that he shares with Nicopolis. She's screaming, like in fear and terror.
I'm gonna take a look see inside, see what's going on.
He is choking to death on his own vomit.
I'm going to try to stabilize and resuscitate him, whatever the fuck.
She's by instinct doing the right thing. She's got him on his side. She's trying to fucking she's smacking his back real hard, getting the vomit out. And she sees you pop up and she starts yelling at you. You did this, you dirty bitch. I knew you were trouble from the minute you fucking walked in here. I'll fucking kill you. And she grabs a big fucking lamp that's not lit, fortunately. And she begins just chucking shit at you, just like throwing it across the room. Whatever she can get her hands on, she's throwing shit at you. She grabs objects, just like raining crap on you, trying to drive you away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be pointing out. Focus on helping him. God damn it!
She's like, get the hell out of here! If I ever see you here again, I swear to God, I'll burn your ass fucking alive. I swear.
Serpent is one. Serpent is one.
Okay.
Call her down. The guy is dying.
Yeah,
Nicodemus, where are you?
Sounds of choking in the behind background.
Look, I'll get out of the room. Just focus on saving him. God damn it! In fact, no.
As soon as you get out, um, and the door slams behind you. She goes back to trying to help this guy.
Based on how it looks, does it look like he was going to make it?
Yes.
Okay, that's the important thing.
Oh man, alcoholism is one of the biggest corruption. You should have kept it for the last, like.
Making some calculations in my head real quick.
Now, here's the deal.
Mhm.
He does recover. He does get shipped out. She swore to kill you.
Mhm.
Are you going to do that to her first?
Yes, please say yes. Give it Anakin.
Hmm.
She said,
I'm
if
going
you
to
ever
go.
show your face again, she's going to kill you.
Yeah. Okay. At some point, I'm going to go up to her, and when she does go to make good on that promise, ideally doing this in a place where isn't going to have too many witnesses. I'm going to try and grab her hand and just say no. And basically, if necessary, I'm going to try and start ghouling her.
Um, if you... Okay, so you're going to go up to her room at some point. And the minute you show up, she begins to attack you.
Okay.
Like, no hesitation. You showed your face. I swore, I told you I was going to kill you. Now it's time. Let's go.
Yep.
She's throwing down.
You activating Serpentis 3 covertly, the covert version, so that it
I mean,
isn't an.
she physically has no chance unless she manages to stake you somehow.
Mhm.
Which she may.
Like
Which she may.
physically she cannot defeat you unless she gets a super lucky stab in.
Yeah, that'd have to be incredibly lucky.
So
And
yeah,
it did happen.
Yes,
I'm
it
going
has
to.
happened before.
Yeah, I'm going to. Serpentis 1, freeze her down.
Right.
Just put her arm around her shoulder.
As soon as you do that and everything stops, some of her girls start coming in. You hear a crowd outside the door. This is not going to go well.
All right, I'm going to make. In fact, do they know that it was me who was in here right now?
Yes, they do. They heard the screaming. You had to go in somehow into the building.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to drop Serpentis 1 and basically try and just try and make an exit of trying to phrase it as I was just trying to talk it out with her, and she just tried to kill me.
They help you on the way out the door with a few swift kicks in the ass. They are not gentle about showing you the door. In fact, they are shoving you, pushing you, kicking at you, spitting at you, telling you to get the fuck out, and they are physically keeping her in the room so she doesn't come flying out at you and try to kill you again. You are no longer welcome here.
Oh well. Hopefully, I haven't completely destroyed the endeavor. We'll have to see.
Oh, I mean, you quite thoroughly ruined his ability to enjoy alcohol. We'll say that.
Yeah, but
Turns out a near-death experience will do that to you.
the question is, did I accidentally, in the process, destroy the connection that I built up with him? I guess we'll have to see.
All right. Skip forward a couple of years. Gaius Gracchus, it's actually quite important what happens to him. This is true. Okay? I'm not exaggerating this in any way. Gaius Gracchus
Okay.
got his brother's reforms implemented pretty much immediately. The Senate just folded, just like that. Just, okay, sure, we'll do whatever. He instituted a couple of laws, which some of them were good, some were bad. He stabilized grain prices to 1.33 bronze aeses per bushel of grain. He introduced a tax on the cities of Asia Minor, a law by which provincial governors could only be tried by the equestrian class. That law, unbeknownst to everybody, would come back to bite everyone. It would be applied in very poor ways to essentially loot all of Asia Minor.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure that's just the watchword of the later Republic. Like, unfortunately, this came back to bite everyone. Unfortunately, this came back to bite everyone.
Well, what happened, the way it ended up getting applied, was provincial governors would go, and because they could be tried for pretty much any reason by the equestrian class, they had to loot, whether they wanted to or not, they had to loot the entire region under their control and give most of that money to the equestrian families. Otherwise, they were going to try them, arrest them, and probably have them imprisoned for until they died. So yeah, it was intended as a way to stop that shit from happening. And instead, all it did was make it so that all the bribes had to be paid to a certain class of people.
Whoops!
Yeah, whoops is that's a very, very apt way of describing it.
Okay. So he did change some laws.
Oh yes. The second year, he did not run for tribune twice in a row. However, due to a quirk in Roman election laws, despite not standing for the position, he was elected twice. So what his brother was murdered for, he achieved by accident.
Okay. But didn't people have grudge on him or anything?
Oh yes.
How did
His
he
second
succeed?
year as tribune, the Senate figured out how to stop him. They supported a guy named Livius Drusus. And what Livius did was every time Gaius would introduce a measure, Drusus would say, that's complete bullshit, that's fucking awful. But I have a counter proposal. So Gaius proposed creating like 4 or 5 new colonies, restarting Carthage and doing some other colonies and settling them with all these military veterans. Drusus is like, that fucking shit'll never work, that's fucking horrible idea, you can't pay for it, you can't do shit. Guy's like, all right, you got a better idea? He goes, yeah, I do. Let's start 12 colonies.
Oh God.
Yeah.
They're like childs.
And that was how he one-upped him. Every single thing he did. I propose all veterans get a payment of 10 gold pieces, Livius. That's fucking stupid. That'll never work. I propose they get 20 gold pieces. I mean, every single thing. Everything he did. Nope, your shit's stupid, but I'm going to double your idea and call it better. And it drove Gaius crazy. Drove him nuts. And,
See, what he should have done is just propose something like, I think Livius should be taxed, 100 and insert large sum here. I think I should be taxed twice that much.
So Livius figured out what Gaius' weakness was. He couldn't ever let well enough alone. He had to manage shit. He had to be involved. And he basically got Gaius to propose a law so outrageous that nobody would accept it. And that law was that all citizens or all Italian provinces up and down the peninsula be granted full Roman citizenship, so that they could all vote and everything. And that law was so outrageous that Gaius pretty much immediately realized, I fucked up. And it basically sparked a huge crisis, and Gaius he tried to run for a third straight term, which was again, unheard of and made it even worse. And a bounty was put on his head. They would pay the weight of his head in gold. And he and a bunch of supporters had to take refuge in a temple on the Capitoline Hill. And he was driven out of the temple. His supporters were murdered, and he was beheaded. And the person who got his head hollowed out his skull and filled it with lead so that he would get extra money.
Wait, what now?
That was odd. Can you
So
repeat
there was a
that,
bounty
please,
on
last time?
Gaius Gracchus's head. And the person who put the bounty out said, I will pay you the weight of his head in gold to bring me his head. And the guy who took Gaius's head hollowed out the brain, completely removed the brain, and filled the inside of his head with lead.
Okay.
So it
And
took the
then-
weight of the head from what, like 2 kilos to like 15 kilos. Because lead is super heavy.
Okay.
And he was like, here you go. Pay me the weight in gold.
Did they,
Did they do it?
Yeah, did they play
Yes,
along?
they did pay. And I'm not lying. That really happened.
You know,
Let-
okay. You know what this old story sounds like? It sounds like ancient Rome was a satire or something like that to live in it.
Well, I mean, the point is, Rome used to be formal, respectful. You didn't do this to tribunes. You didn't do this to politicians.
Yeah.
And
In
it's
fact, I
becoming
think-
more and more mob rule. You can't trust the people anymore. People will do whatever it takes.
In fact, I think before Tiberius there were no recorded instances of political violence up until Tiberius.
Yeah, it really started with Tiberius. And Rome is beginning to suffer more and more of the consequences. Politics are no longer civilized. They're just not. Now you can be assassinated for running for the wrong office.
Yeah, they started playing dirty when someone started playing dirty.
And the problems begin to escalate over the next many years.
Yeah.
So, a couple of highlights. 117 BC, the Temple of Castor and Pollux is rebuilt, becomes the new meeting place for the Immortal Senate. 114, the Temple of Venus Verticordia, or Venus the Changer of Hearts, is finished on the Aventine Hill. And it is, in fact, built on the site of Artemis's old villa.
Okay.
War starts in north of the Italian Alps. A man named Jugurtha, who is the king of Numidia, declares war on the Roman Republic in 112. This man will be vitally important. In 111, they captured him and they brought him to Rome. And he bribed his way out of the trial. He had so much gold that he bribed his way out of being convicted for rebelling against Rome.
That must have been one hell of a bribe.
Huh. Where did he find the money? I should say, where did he carry the money?
Well, that's what you have an army for.
Well, presumably, he must have had a lot of experience carrying heavy things. What were those massive balls of his?
Yeah. Uh-huh. All right, I need each of you to roll a D100, and you want to roll higher than 24.
Okay. Is this
D100, eh?
Yep.
interesting? 24.
The year of one... Ooh, I'm so sorry for you.
Oh, wow.
I know
Oh.
he rolled wrong. He did not put the one in the 100.
Oh,
You rolled a D00, yes. It's
Oh, yeah.
okay.
re-roll that, please, because that's going to be important.
Ew.
Oh,
Oh.
111 BC was an exceptionally dry summer. 1/4 of Rome burnt to the ground this year.
am I going to lose my resources again permanently?
Well, it's somewhat worse than that, Vlad.
What?
It is approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Your people are preparing the fires and getting stuff ready for their annual meals and stuff. A stray spark from the kitchen fire alights in the stored firewood. Your villa begins to catch on fire.
shit. Okay, well, I personally cannot stop it from happening. Others
Your
should try
villa
it.
begins to burn quite badly. Fairly soon, it reaches your sleeping area. Need you to roll your road rating to wake up at the danger.
Okay. Oh man, Jesus Christ.
Ow, 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 ow.
Okay. You have 2 rounds at full dice pool. Each round after that, you begin to lose. Each round after that, your dice pool cuts in half.
Okay. Well,
I think that's how working during daylight hours works. I think.
I don't know. I did not check the true actually in close time, so you might need to check that. I will in the 2 turn. I will boost my dexterity as much as I can. So, 8. And then I will run the fuck away.
Here's the problem. Where are you going to run to?
Is it sunlight
Yeah, it's
outside?
like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh shit. Okay,
shit.
wait. Okay, wait.
Um,
Check
Dig a
some
hole!
stuff.
Dig a hole!
I
Well,
bet it's
shut
too
up.
bad you can't meld, like earth meld.
Wait.
So I have a solution
Wait.
for you, but you are chancing dying.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to dictate you're about to die. We are going to leave it up to the dice.
Okay.
You have to run across your yard and dive into a wagon that's full of hay and manure. It is thick enough to shield you from the daylight, but the only way out is to run across the yard and get there.
Okay. Well, that seems like my only option, right?
Yep. So I'm trying to find the rule for
Sunlight rules?
operating during daylight so I can tell you how much your dice pool is.
Okay. About the sunlight damage, you already probably remember.
Sunlight damage
Possible
is 3 ag per round.
Yes, it's at full exposure, yes. Which I'm probably am.
It's going to. You have. If you failed every dice roll, it is 5 rounds to get across.
If I fail every round.
If you
every roll.
failed.
Okay. What roll? Metamorphosis? Dexterity?
Again, I'm trying to find out how much you're. For some reason, I can't find it in the book.
I can't wait. I'm looking for it to help you.
Shame you don't have Benedictio Mortem. That would be.
You're looking for waking up, right? Okay,
Rules,
let's see.
actions, rolling dice. Yeah, waking up. Difficulties.
I'm going to just make it.
Time, teamwork. I looked
While
up
we check
daylight
it,
and I didn't see it.
I'm checking it. I'm looking at sunlight word keyword, so I'm going to try to find something in sunlight rules. Let's see. No, there's
Sunlight
no rules.
damage.
Yeah, there's only sunlight damage.
Sunlight,
I will
1223, 358, 360.
No, you don't need to check that. There's only about damage. It's only about damage.
The Red
It's
Fear,
somewhere else.
Golconda, Becoming Mortal. Alright, well, you are going to have to roll courage to, at difficulty 8.
Courage and difficulty to function.
Yeah, to function at conscious capacity. Otherwise, you're going to be in frenzy and may not be able to make it to safety.
Fuck! I've charmed existence, so it's not a borch. Can I spend willpower to resist? Or
Spend a
reroll? I don't
willpower
know.
and reroll at difficulty 9.
Okay, why not? Please.
Deterioration, Diablerie, Sins of the Soul, Frenzy and Rot Check, Faith,
I
Fury,
rolled a 10.
Healing,
rolled a 10.
Derangements, Dice Pool, Incapacitated, Torpor, Final Death, Flying Damage.
Yeah, it's not there. It's not there. We need to check somewhere else. Waking. Oh, maybe it's in the road. Maybe it's in the road rules. It might be there. I'm checking the road.
So what are we actually looking for here? The
Waking up at daylight.
Waking up and operating during the day.
all I can find is like the effects of sunlight.
Yeah, that's all I could find.
So I'm going to go at the roads and look
Yeah.
at the road
Yes,
rules.
that's what
Actually, I
I'm
have a
flipping
copy
to
of
as
the-
well.
Actually, I have a copy of the storyteller screen here.
It's coming. Blah, blah, blah. Road
Here we go,
features.
roads. Changing roads, road features, ethics, initiation,
I know it's-
aura, virtues.
I know it's somewhere.
sins.
I don't know where it is. I know it's somewhere. You know what? I'm gonna check the Wikipedia. It might be wrong, but at least it might be faster.
We'll see what page it's on in the main book. See if I can find it.
No, that's not going to be.
That's what it's called.
Alright, well, I know there's a merit for
Screen.
supernatural merit.
It just, I think, decreases the difficulty. That's what it does.
Could be a mental. Light sleeper. Yeah, that doesn't do nothing. Alright, well, here's what we're going to do. Unless the wiki tells you otherwise, we are going to go with, you have 2 rounds at full dice pool, and then each successive dice pool, you lose 2 dice on top of your wound penalties. As you're
Okay.
getting more and more sleepy.
Okay.
Right, so I need you to make dexterity and athletics rolls.
I'm going to boost my dexterity to be faster. Just to
Right.
survive. Suspending for blood, as I stayed. Okay, so what did you say I need to roll?
Dexterity and athletics.
Right.
Right, now your beast is, you succeeded, so you're not in frenzy yet, but you are also going to have to keep rolling every round until you've reached 5 successes to stay out of frenzy. So you staved off for a round.
Rodschreck in this case.
Yep.
Okay, I have, so I rolled a 1, but I have charm resistance, so it's 7 successes. Sure, yeah, it's 7 successes.
Okay. Your sheer speed gets you partway across. You need, if you do 3 more, or sorry, if you do 2 more at 6 successes apiece, you will have made it in 3 total rounds. Or sorry, 7. But yeah, anyways. Silk, fortitude only.
I don't have
3 ag.
fortitude. I don't have fortitude.
Okay, you take 3 aggravated damage from sunlight as you shriek.
I should ask this.
You know
Is
what?
it possible for
You will die if I make you roll at that rule.
Uh,
If you said you made 7, 14, 21. If you make 18 total successes on the next 2 rolls, with this one too as well. So you need 11 more total successes without spending willpower. You will have made it to safety and collapse under the hay just in time to avoid dying.
Yeah, because of like 3 turn is maximum. After that, I'm dead because I take,
Exactly.
3
So,
each.
You get to roll 2 more times, but I also need you to roll courage twice. Now
Yes,
you can
let's
spend
roll.
willpower on the courage roll, but you got to do it now.
I can't spend it. Willpower on the courage. Okay. And difficulty is for the courage?
8.
Fuck. Can I spend willpower on my dexterity roll?
No.
No. Okay, I'm going to spend willpower for the courage.
All right. And remember,
Do
you're
you
at
want me to
-1
roll?
dice on your dex roll. So roll courage, diff 8. You have 1 success.
Yes. Rolling courage. Okay.
All right. You have staved off frenzy for this round. Dexterity, athletics, -1 dice for wound penalties.
Yes. The sheet should do the damage, so I'm gonna roll it as usual.
If you have your damage marked off correctly, it will.
Yeah, I have the wound penalties correctly.
I'm calling up your sheet real quick. I got to go to your primary.
I got
You
5
don't.
success.
You have to mark off the bruised.
Oh, I need to do that? Okay.
Yep, you got to mark that little square box next to bruised.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it did it.
There
himself.
it goes. See, now it's applying your dice. Roll it again.
Okay, let's roll it again. I got 4 successes because charmed existence.
All right. You take 3 more aggravated damage.
Yes, I do. I am at crippled, so I lose 5 dice now.
All right. Now you can spend a willpower to ignore the wound penalty, but you have to choose between that and your courage roll.
I think I'm going to choose to ignore the wound penalty.
Okay?
Is my courage going to be diff 8 again?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm going to ignore the wound penalty. Let's roll. Courage. Okay.
Okay.
So
Full
it
dice
takes 8
pool.
athletics. Yes, at full dice pool, so I'm just gonna mark off this damage thing.
Or you can just uncheck the wound penalty thing where it says
Yeah.
wounds.
Let's roll. Okay, it's lagging a little bit. Oh, fuck! Well, it's actually 2 nature 1, not 3, so it's 2 success.
Alright.
So I got 7, 4, and then 2.
I said you needed 11 total on those last 2 rolls, right? So you got 5, 6, 7. You missed it.
Wait, I missed it?
I told you needed 11 total on your final 2 rolls.
Oh, combined. Final 2 combined. Okay. I thought it was all 3 combined. 11.
Nope.
Okay.
Your entire villa and all of its inhabitants, your ghouls, your Slaktza, burns. Completely, the entire area burns to the ground, along with 1/4 of Rome.
This I cannot return from folk. Oh man, fucking luck! And I missed it by 1. Jesus Christ. Hey, look at it from the good side. I got another concept.
The dice fucked you, man. I am so sorry.
And I was feeling so good playing Vlad.
During this dry year, Albina, your sire approaches you. It is 111 BC. Your sire approaches you and tells you that she needs you to destroy 2 neonates who refuse to listen to reason. and move on from a territory that is not theirs.
Is the prince aware of the need to destroy these neonates?
She's the Scourge. She has made this call, and it's not the first time she's had to make it.
I assume the place that they wish to move on is from your domains.
It is from the domain of Tryphosa, the Seer.
Very well. Are you see to the final deaths? Can you tell me about them? What are they like? Where they may be located?
They are quite new. They have decided to take the Forum Porcus. They believe that as Tryphosa is just a Malkavian, that she is nothing. And rather than deal with them herself, she has other things to do, and she's decided to shove that on to the Scourge, to me.
Are you see to it?
They are neonates, very, very new neonates of significantly weaker than you are. Should provide you no trouble.
Are they backed by someone?
No.
No Northworth Flyer?
No.
Or... Okay. So yeah, she's going to set off to see about that.
Alright. You head to the Forum Porcus. It used to be south of the Kalian Hill. It no longer is. It is now... Rome moved it to the far north, outside of the Severan walls, in what's called the Field of Mars. The Field of Mars is a enormous open field. It's got a big marshy center to it, and they use it to marshal armies when they need to marshal an army. So it's got several buildings in the area. At night, it is pretty empty, except for the people bringing in, farm animals and such to be slaughtered and traded during the day.
During the night, she's going to try to move along the shadows and try to see if she spots someone by the description of the neonates.
Yeah, she gave you a description of them and basically told you where they are focusing and how they are attempting to quote unquote exert control. Basically, you find them literally attempting to physically intimidate the wagon master who is directing traffic and recording inventory as it comes in for tax purposes.
She's going to try to sneak up behind them, buffing up her dexterity and her strength.
Right? Give me a dex stealth roll, please. And I assume you're going to be using Obtenebration to
Yes.
aid you in this.
Yes.
Yeah, so add that appropriately. Oh no, they might actually hear you. They're very distracted. They are going to need 3 successes. Right, one of them, as the guy who's kind of hanging out in the back. So one guy's, doing the whole "I've got a big chest and you really should pay up and you should make sure that people know that we're the ones in charge here." Right? He's doing the whole "I'm a big man" shtick. The guy standing behind him hears you turning, and he whips around and looks at you, and he's like, he looks you up and down, and he sneers, and you can see the fangs begin to come out. And he looks and he goes, "Oh, looks like we got company."
She's going to try to act scared, to act like a panicked mortal, someone that just saw as present witnessing the assault. She's going to lift up her hands and she's going to step back, a look of terror on her face.
Yeah, they go, "Well, let's tell you what, boy, we're gonna go take care of this. I want you to tell everyone what you see here. They'll know we're the big man. You pay us for protection. This is our territory." And they step away and they begin to take off after you. They start coming up to you, cracking their knuckles dramatically, rolling their shoulders a little bit, hopping like they're getting ready to get in a big fight. One of them, big claws come out.
She starts running away, trying to make it trying to lure them into some desolated, somewhere that would be.
Plenty of desolated area out here. As soon as you leave the confines of the actual market, it is as dark can be. No lights, no torches, especially with how dry it is this year. They don't want a chance fire. You leap out into the darkness. They are close behind you, hot on your heels. They're treating this like a game that they think they're driving you. So they're purposefully, like, they'll catch up to you and they'll whack you on the back of the head. "You better run faster. You better run faster. Woo!" And then they'll let you get away a little bit, and then they'll catch up again. So they act like they're driving you to where they can have more fun.
Once she feels that she's away enough from any mortal, she's going to pop I believe it is Nightshade.
Ah, yes, level 4.
The one that makes the big cloud of darkness.
Oh, Nocturne, level 2.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Pop that bad boy right on up. I don't even think that's a roll. No, it is. Manipulation.
Yes.
Yeah. Diff 7. Nice. Very nice. A humongous cloud of... Each additional success adds 3 meters to the diameter. So, yeah. An absolutely enormous cloud of inky blackness rolls out of you with you at its center. Just like a bubble, a big balloon of dark crap. Milky blackness, things move in it. The darkness it's not still, it shifts and undulates and clings like saran wrap to everything it touches. It clogs all up your pores, it gets in your nose. The two of them immediately begin screaming, "Oh shit! Oh my god, what the fuck's going on?" The one with the claws, his eyes are glowing bright red, and he is desperately looking around. He's crouches down, and he's got his hands out, and he's feeling his way. The other one does not have any such defenses, and he is blindly stumbling. And in fact, I believe they have to roll courage. Because they have never been exposed to this before. They have no idea what it is. Well, it doesn't say they have to roll courage, but I think they have to. This is new experience for them. We'll say diff 7. Alright, neither one of them succeeds. They don't botch, but they both are in a gibbering panic. There's no rational thought left here. They're blindly stumbling around, swinging their arms, trying to find their way out of the blackness. And meanwhile, you're just sitting there looking at him like, yeah, sure. I am the only one who can see in this game of Blind Man's Bluff. I think I'm going to win.
So we're going to go over to one of them while she summons tentacles around the other one. To try to tie one of them down while she takes care of the one without the claws.
The only problem? There's not enough light to summon shadow tentacles.
Okay.
But you can still easily sneak up on one of them, who is blindly flailing, by the way. He can't see you, can't hear you, doesn't really know you're behind him. They're literally just kind of blindly flailing and stumbling, and you're just kind of hanging back. Oh, whoop, almost touched me there. Okay, well, now I'm behind you.
In that case, she's going to make a Shadow Gladius.
She's making what?
Shadow Gladius.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the weapon. All right. So you summon the blackness, and it, whooshing, you now have a shadow blade in your hand.
And she's going to, the Shadow Gladius, she's going to proceed to strike down the one that is in front of her.
All right. Surprise attack. No initiative. Give me a Dex Melee Diff 6. Whack away. He can't dodge it. He just got to take it. Man, what a roll. Ooh, boy. 1, 2, yeah, that's a lot of successes.
Ow.
You slam the hell out of him. Roll damage.
With the Gladius is plus 3, right?
Gladius is +2 unless the Shadow Blade gives you any extra damage.
I do not believe it does. I do not believe it is. The obtenebration rating does anything for it like with armor.
Oh, I've got a combination discipline thing here, so let me check her out. No, it doesn't give you any extra. So it's just the strength +2.
Okay, I'm going to use a blood point for potence to be auto 3.
Outstanding move. So strength +2 +6. And you've already inflict 3 with potence. So you have inflicted 9 total lethal upon him. You inflict 7 total lethal, which is enough to drop him to incapacitated in 1 strike. You open his back from shoulder to waist, exposing gleaming bone, spine, the organs underneath his ribs, the desiccated, bloody lungs. He has just enough time to go, boom, and he hits the ground. He's twitching. Even in frenzy, the beast is too injured to get up. Plus, you know what? I have to re-roll that. It sucks 2 dice of stamina away from him. So, there is no possible way he gets out of this without being in torpor. I almost forgot that. I didn't have to roll. Yeah, he's in torpor. He's boom, he's down, done. Now the guy with claws.
She's going to approach him. Along the way, she makes shadow armors for his clones, not wishing. Remembering the fucking werewolf clones and not wishing to have a repeat of that experience.
Yep. This is obviously a gangrel. He's glowing red eyes.
No, yeah, but I imagine the clones would feel like werewolf clones. They are both aggravated.
They do hurt quite a bit.
So yeah, for shadow armor, she approaches him and she's going to try the same thing with him. Try to strike him down the blade.
All right. Yeah, you're going to be able to get up right behind him. Give me a Dex Melee roll. All right. Strength +5 extra. Strength +5 dice for damage. Assume you're making Potence Auto again?
Yes.
So he's got to soak 8. He will spend a blood to make his 2 dice of fortitude auto success. So that takes it down to 7-6. 5. He takes 5. He's still in frenzy. Now he whips around and he knows where you're at. You might have the advantage here. You might not. Well, okay, it doesn't take away from his initiative rating. So, give me a D10 roll. He's gonna have a base initiative of 7. So, what's your current dex and wits?
My current dex and wits would be 9.
Okay. So you've got a 15, and I'm still waiting on Roll20 to catch up for some reason. It says rolling the dice. Wow, it's really lagging. Oh, there it goes. Alright, you beat him.
She's going to go for another stab if he's not able to react.
Well, he's going to have an action, but he's in frenzy, and you just attacked him, and he swerves to the threat. But you have the higher initiative, so you get first action.
She's going to attempt to stab into him again.
Dex melee. Nice. Give me another damage roll, please. Strength plus 7. And I assume you make Potence auto again.
Yes.
So 3, 6. Well, he cannot soak all of that, even with his fortitude. And he goes down before he can attack you. Before he can even heal. You have easily taken out these 2 pathetic neonates who refuse to listen to reason.
She's going to top herself off on them, on blood.
Okay. Road of the Abyss. Check something. I think that's in the most somber section of the book.
It is at the very end.
I'm just checking for diablerie. Showing aversion, needlessly hindering, letting morality, giving in to frenzy, refusing to kill when it's the most expedient path. Yeah, it doesn't. Your road doesn't compel you to commit diablerie. So, yeah, you were told to kill these guys. They are at your mercy. How would you like to proceed? You can top off on their blood, no problem.
And yeah, she's going to diabolize them.
Okay, you have common sense.
I do.
Diablerie is still very much frowned on.
Even under the neonates have been given the death sentence.
Correct. You can still kill them without
Okay.
eating them.
Okay. In that case, she's just going to top off on them. And then she's going to kill one of them. And would it be possible for her to take the other one? Or would this be carrying her body on this place, leave too much of a... what's the word? Cause too much of a ruckus?
No, you can you slice and dice the other one until they're nothing but bits of blood and flesh on the grass, the dry field grass. You can pick the other one up. Which one would you like to save, as it were?
The gangrel.
Okay. You pick the gangrel up. You sling them up over your shoulder. You got enough potence for this.
You're helping with the drought issue. You're watering the grass with a blood.
She's preparing a garden. Gulling the plants and shit. Yeah, she's going to go and she's going to bring it. She's going to bring it somewhere she can have some privacy, and then she's just going to They can still feel under the top, right?
No.
Ah, shit, that's only on the edge take then. Ah, fuck it, then she's just going to kill him.
Okay. Yeah, you do as your sire asked, easily, efficiently, expediently. Um, your sire congratulates you on doing as such.
Takes the congratulation, but this time there is a bit of a there's no there's not the rise of pride so much within her as she usually got after seeing her sire submitting to the prince. It is the congratulations sounds a bit hollow to her.
Yeah, and it's like, why couldn't you have done this? You're the scourge, not
Yeah.
me, right? So even through the blood bond, it's yes, you love your sire, but you know, god damn, people you love disappoint you.
Yeah,
All right.
and she cannot really do anything against her sire, not just because her sire is more powerful, not just because the blood bound, but also because the prince likely not take well to someone destroying his courage,
Mm-hmm.
taking action against his courage.
All right.
So she's a very bad place right now.
All right. So we're gonna skip forward a few more years. A couple important things happen. 108 BC, or sorry, 109. The Roman Senate for the first time authorizes Consul Gaius Marius to ignore the landowner restriction for army conscription. 108 BC, Marius enacts what's called the Marian Reforms. He removes the property requirements to be in the army. He does some things about the government must now provide weapons and armor and training. And in the long run, this sets up the army to become loyal to generals rather than to Rome.
Whoops.
Yep. 107 BC.
As I said, the theme for for the late Republic.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they didn't realize this would ruin shit for everyone.
So 107, Labiana, you get a letter from your sire. Your sire has a very important request for you. It seems a thief has stolen something extremely important, a very valuable piece of um, religious statuary from their area.
Dear.
And if you can find it and return it, your sire can get a huge amount of standing and respect from the communities in central Italia where he's at. The object is a golden pomegranate fruit with seeds of ruby gems. Extremely valuable. There's only a few places that such a object could be sold.
Golden pomegranate.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm sure that's where Labiana would start, scouring those known places.
Right. So there's two markets really where such a thing would be easily sold. One of them would be the Forum Venalia, and the other would be the Forum Subaru, or Subara. Sorry, Subura. Now, the Forum Venalia is ostensibly under the domain claim of 5 neonates who have let it be known that, of course, they're not going to attempt to stop anyone from shopping there. But if you're going to start any kind of trouble, you need to get their permission.
What about the other place? The Subaru?
Nobody seems to have claimed it. The Forum Subura is essentially known as, at night, It is the occult place. That's where you go to get a lot of ritual supplies. You go to put in requests for, I need black wax. How long will it take you to get me black wax? I need, beans, such and such beans or something, things like that. That's where you go to find people and get certain ingredients.
I get you. Well, knowing this, lobbying might start there.
Are you guys speaking?
I'm sorry, I had my freaking mic on mute. Thank you for pointing that out.
Oh, oof.
Alright, so, where did I leave off? The Forum Sabura, right?
Yeah.
Alright, the Forum Sabura during the day is the poor man's market. A lot of the goods sold here are substandard. The clothing is a little bit moth-eaten. The food may have a little bit of mold on it. Things like that. At night, of course, it transforms to the occult setting. The shops are few. Many of them are full of just junk, amulets and religious stuff that doesn't have any real power. Fake holy water, fake, fake the religious snake deities of such and such, blah blah blah. Come bow it. All that kind of tourist kitschy crap. New age crystal magic. If you get my drift here.
Do I have a Glycon hand puppet?
But there are occasional random stuff where, like I said, you can go to one of these guys and be like, look, I need to get beans. I need to get bean seeds, but can I put you on commission to go get me beans that have been harvested under the light of a full moon? Stuff like that.
Alright.
So, it is a rough area. Do you have anybody to take with you for protection?
I mean, like, out of character, would Labiana or anyone else for that matter know, like, I don't know, the worth of this thing?
Oh, the worth of this thing
Could be-
is immense. I mean, just in terms of if they wanted to melt the gold down for something and sell the rubies, it would be quite expensive. Obviously, no mere commoner is going to show up with this thing and go, hey, I demand top dollar. They're going to go to a fence. Somebody who's going to give them half value or less.
Yeah. I'm just kind of wondering if this may be the kind of thing she might have decided to I don't know, alert the other coterie members to, to help her out.
Yeah, that's certainly a very valid thing.
In this instance, yeah, it's likely. So she would have asked if anyone wanted to accompany her.
Sure.
Not very much of herself.
All right, awesome. Alright, so you guys, as a group, are headed probably to the Forum Vanalia. Because that's where a lot of the stuff kind of gets fenced. A lot of the smugglers go here. And a group of 3 or 3 plus ghouls is significantly more powerful and is going to scare off would-be muggers and knife attacks and thieves and such like that.
This would seem the most likely place to start.
So, make a we're going to make a wits and legerdemain roll to begin tracking down the fences who might handle such an object. And as always, add a die for everyone helping you.
Can one help even if they... Oh no, I actually do have ledger domain. Okay, yeah, so I help.
I do not have legerdemain, so sorry.
That's right, so 1 dice, bear with me, setting up roll, legerdemain. Okay, so that will go under Doom. Spell this correctly. Okay. Div 6?
Yeah, it would be diff 6. Ooh, only 1 success. Alright, there's maybe 3 that you think would be able to swing the funds and not just to buy it, but to actually have the connections to then resell it for a profit.
Okay.
So I would assume you approach the first one.
Yeah, let's just go in order of submittee. Let's start there.
Yeah, so tell me high or low?
Low.
Low. Alright. You walk in. There's a standard kind of merchant shop looking deal. The guy behind the small counter is discussing business with a man who's got a little cloak over his shoulders, a little hood drawn up so you can't really see his face. There's his shop is stuffed with like little rolled up rugs and bits of jewelry. You can see food, all kinds of little odds and ends in the nooks and crannies, bits and scrolls here and there. Probably all stolen. And this guy is discussing business with another man, and there's 2 other guys in the room. One is pale skin, obviously not breathing, not saying too much, but it's just kind of looking through the wares. Has the bearing of a noble in his shoulders and his gait. And in a moment, Dennis is going to introduce this man. The other
shit, it's my
is
moment.
standing there. He's a huge dude. He's a big guy. He's got big bands on his biceps, leather bands. In contravention of all Roman laws, he has a big club with a spike on the end of it. And not that these
Ouch.
people care much about Roman laws, obviously, because they're fencing stolen goods.
Honestly. Well, it's kind of like the Dark Ages black market.
Yep. Yeah, you don't come
alright.
into this market at night without the understanding that you might not make it out. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, and everybody knows it. So there's a situation as you walk into this place.
Okay. Well, seeing that, I presume the person that she'd want to talk to is still with a customer, so to speak. So for the moment, she's going to pretend like she's checking out the wares, at
Okay,
least for the time being.
Dennis,
Yeah.
you get a brief look underneath Labiena's hood, and all you see is the glint of something on her face. And that glint sparks a memory in your head. The memory of your daughter on her wedding day as she gets married, and the makeup and the glint of in her face. And for a moment, you are absolutely convinced that your daughter, long dead, just walked into the shop.
Okay. Knowing, wait, am I
You
what
are
I think I am?
convinced she's your daughter.
Okay. Oh, I'm convinced. Okay. Oof.
Yes.
And okay. But I think considering how surprising that would be for a character like mine, if I'm playing my character right now, then she would, he will directly approach to this person who he thinks is his daughter, and with a sound of a surprised and somewhat confused person, adult male, he will say whatever my daughter's name is, with a question mark at the end of it.
Yeah, so,
So yeah,
so Labiana, this
Well,
old
yeah,
looking dude
yep.
grabs you and
This-
says, Lucinda? Lucinda, is that you? Kind of grabs your shoulder.
and you see,
kind of taken aback by being grabbed out of nowhere by this stranger. She turns to him, hears the name, and says, "Excuse me?"
Yeah, so
uh,
Decius, or as you know, as a player, Labiana wears a mask everywhere she goes so you can't see her face.
yeah, is the face mask a blatant one?
I mean, it's
Or,
obviously a mask. It's a wooden mask.
okay. And of course, the sound, the voice of the person is much different, I assume. So I will
Yeah,
raise my eyebrow.
it's a 1 point flaw, so it's easily taken care of. But yeah,
Okay. I will raise my eyebrow, let her arm, take a step back and look at her in confusion and say, "Excuse me, I must have confused you with someone else. Please move on."
Uh, not a problem. And she turns back to continue through the wares.
How weird is it to see someone with a wooden mask and
very
with
weird.
the
That is very weird.
clothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the clothing as well. I will take a second look while she's walking away. I just give a deep stare while she's walking away. Did I smell corpse? First of all, did I smell the smell of a corpse?
She doesn't have a
Yes, he
smell,
would have got,
right?
She doesn't have a smell.
but he
Okay.
would have copped a bit of that eerie presence.
Yeah, your presence. Okay. I don't know if that's
That would
enough.
affect him too, right?
Yes, it would.
Or was that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
He would
hmm.
have got it as soon as you
Uh,
grabbed my shoulders. He would have got a shudder down
yeah.
his spine. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I like out of character. I'm trying to find a way to make this go on so that we can introduce to each other. But out of in character, I don't know how I can find it.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
at about this time, the other guy hunches his shoulders, pulls the hood a little tighter over his face, takes a little pouch of coins from the man, and their business concluded, hustles out of the shop, making sure you guys can't see what he looks like as he looks face down and covers his head, runs out the door, leaving the 1, 2, 3, 4 of you in the shop with this man.
Well, I mean, assuming Labiana notices this, she's going to casually just approach the man. Excuse me, sir. I was wondering if you might be able to help me.
He leans forward and says, "Listen, Mister, I I'll do business with you. I don't care who you are, but I need to see your face. I don't do business with anybody. I can't see who you are."
You
All
can
you need
say,
to know is my name is Labiana.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking for something in particular.
Well, can't promise, but if I can, price goes up if I don't know who you are.
Prepared to accept that. She kind of tries to lean in a little closer without, giving him
The eerie
any
presence.
sort of
He pulls
that.
back. He's like, "Ugh, I don't like getting too close." But yeah, go on.
Anyway, she lowers her voice a little, making sure he can still hear her. I am looking for what what might be described as a golden-looking pomegranate. Perhaps seen one at all.
Well, I mean, you see lots of fruit come through here. Yeah, pomegranate this, melon that.
Anything recently?
I mean, he makes a subtle gesture of you gotta start feeding him that money.
Payment?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want?
What's your resources rating?
Don't think I have much. I think it was only like. Oh, that reminds me. Oh, that's right. I lost one, so I'm only on one now.
Yeah,
I remember I spent one to buy that silver armor.
You're gonna be hurting.
Silver-plated armor.
You're gonna be hurting. So he starts rubbing his fingers. Um,
"Good night,
waiting on you,
produces
waiting on you to pay up.
hands coin been under the counter for Labiana."
Well, as I said, I'm still trying to. I basically asked him how much he wants.
All right, yeah, he'll take 2 coins from you. And he says, "Well, I see some weird fruit come through recently. Some pretty shiny stuff. Look pretty valuable."
Okay. Anything specifically resembling a pomegranate? I assume you know what a pomegranate looks like.
Well, I mean, I'm an old man. My eyesight's not what it once was. So, I could could use a visit to the Temple of Scalpless and, get them to look in my eyes and see if they can fix me up. That stuff's expensive though. Hint, hint.
How much?
He starts rubbing his fingers. He's waiting on you to lay those coins down.
He starts putting them down one by one till he puts enough down.
All right. Yeah, you're going to end up marking off your temporary resources rating here as you are emptying your purse.
Pretty much.
I
mean, this is for her sire, so she's willing to do anything she can.
Yeah, I've seen a certain pomegranate pass through here recently. And he looks at you. He gave you his answer. I saw a pomegranate recently. Pretty valuable one. He pulls out a loaf of bread with a slab of meat on it and takes a big chunk big old bite out of it while he's looking at you.
This one does. Do you happen to know able to find it? It may have ended up.
He looks at all four of you. I don't know. I don't think any of you have the kind of sway. I don't think any of you have the money to pay for that kind of thing.
Looks can be deceiving.
Sure they can. Prove me wrong.
Can I ask something quickly?
Sure.
Would I be at hearing distance?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
don't know. Okay. And Lavinia is not alone, right, at the moment?
No, she has Hatshepsut and Albino with her.
Okay. And they seem to be just standing silent, doing nothing.
Well, they're letting Labiana do her thing.
Right. I think just because of our previous interaction between my character and Labiana, and hearing this money stuff discussions happening, just because of my character's out of curiosity, I think he will slowly approach to the merchant and offer to pay for Labiana instead of her. Instead of her paying it, he will offer to do it himself.
Well, I don't care who
And
start throwing it down till I say enough.
And admittedly, Labiena's obviously seen this, and like she'll look at him and she'll be like, "You again?"
I felt that because of my, how to say it, previous behavior, I felt like I had to repay that in some fashion. And you do indeed look like a unique individual among this home I am at this home I am at. I would like to pay for the thing you want to buy. Don't worry, I do not want anything in return. This is simply my gesture of apologizing.
Labiena kind of looks at him with an equal measure of slight annoyance, but at the same time, gratitude for, offering to, because she knows how much she needs this thing right now.
I take your silence as a yes. Then I essentially take out the money the man asked for and just give it to him.
Okay. Well,
She's like,
tell me.
very well, go ahead.
Tell me, man with no bodyguards. How much money do you carry on you in this area where you're as likely to get knifed over a shirt?
Yeah, knowing knowing that I have some commerce and seneschal, I would probably carry enough that it won't really, make people really go out of their way to stab me. But at least substantially carry some, and even keep some of it in like some hidden places, such as, I don't know, inside my shoe or something like that, just in case.
All
I'm
right.
not sure
You
if it's even.
you throw the first bag of coins down, and he pokes at it with a stick, lifts it up a little bit. Then he looks at you. Not enough. He doesn't say that, but he just looks at you, and it's a look of, no, you need more.
Okay. Um, let's see. Do I have on me enough money to buy this thing?
No, but you have jewelry, and you have IOUs that if you sign off on them and give him all the stuff that he starts asking for, yes, you do.
I think I think one of the jewelry on me would be enough to pay for this.
No, I
So
don't
I
think
will
so.
just. You don't think so?
No.
No. Not even with the resources I have?
I think one of the pieces of jewelry you have on you would serve as a item of trust that you would honor the IOUs.
Okay. And to be clear, he cannot abuse that IOUs, right? He can only get as much as I promised to pay,
Correct.
right? Oh, okay. So if I know that this cannot be abused and the guy can't rip me,
Don't reduce this to
then
mechanics. This is a narrative thing.
Oh, what?
You throw
okay,
money down.
okay,
You throw money down. He's like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no, I don't
yeah.
think so. More.
Okay, then I will
Actually,
do the promise
sorry,
thing. I will do the
I,
promise thing.
I just thought of something.
Go ahead,
I
Laviana.
have presents. Like, why am I not using my presents?
Uh, I will,
So,
if you want to. Yeah.
I mean, she has ore, at the very least.
Well, as you guys are involved in a negotiation, and Laviana's like, how can I make this go smoother? And he's looking at this old dude standing there, and he's going, more, more. It's like that scene in Men in Black where he goes, I need sugar and water. More, more. And she just starts pouring
Oh,
it in
yeah.
there.
I remember that scene.
Yeah. That's what he's looking like. He's looking at this old man. He's like, more. And the old man reaches into his clothing and pulls out another bag. He looks at it and he goes, yeah, more. So he reaches into his.
Yeah, he's trying to take us for all we're worth, basically.
Yeah. So the
Oh,
old
yeah.
man, Dennis, reaches under his up underneath and pulls out another bag, throws it down. He's like, yeah, more. So he pulls out a IOU and takes his ring off and puts it in the ring, puts it on the counter. Guy pulls out the IOU. He's like, okay, that's good enough. Slides all of the money and the IOU and everything off the counter. He's like, everybody back up. Back up.
Okay.
You basically, he backs you all up to the door. Reaches underneath the counter, and you hear some jingling, rattling, wood banging, and he pulls up a lockbox. And the big dude walks it over to you and hands it to Albina. Or not Albina, sorry, Labiana.
We can't hear you,
I
Chris. We can't hear
suppose.
you.
They hand a lockbox over to
Labiana.
Labiana.
Yeah. Now, at this point, before she even considers leaving, Labiana's gonna open the lockbox to inspect the contents.
It is a. First off, it's heavy, really heavy. Gold is like way heavier than you'd think. And you pop open the lockbox, and the couple of little candles giving light in this small shop. It's the orange gleam of gold inside the box.
And it looks like a pomegranate.
From the outside, it does. Do you open it, pop it in half, and look? I would assume yes.
The actual pomegranate.
Yep. And inside are a bunch of little tiny rubies.
Is this what is this what you wished for, young lady?
Well, ultimately, Hatshepsut would see a small, satisfied smile creeping up onto Labiena's face as she closes the pomegranate and likewise back up at the gentleman and says, "This is exactly what I was looking for. Pleasure doing business with you."
Beautiful. And I did forgot to ask, what's your name? I myself called Decius Varius Tertullianus. But you can call me Decius. That's enough.
Well, this time she'll turn to the gentleman with, obviously, like, the disdain's gone. And, kind of looks at him, says, "I'm Labiena. Thank you for your assistance.
It's nothing.
Are you new to these parts? I don't believe I've seen you before."
I sometimes come here to buy some stuff. Most often I send people to do it. But tonight, I had a personal reason to come here myself. I can surely say that it was a good decision on my part because I met someone unique, truly. And your friends also looks quite unique as well. Especially the non-Roman lady with you. And he looks at Hatshepsut.
Oh, I'm surely not that exceptional.
Maybe it's just me. Manners reveal one's nature so easily. Do not understand this in a wrong way, but it is quite easy to pick those who are not Roman.
There is something. There is often something distinct about people native to this city, and I will give you that.
Listen, I have somewhere to go, but I would hope that in future we meet again. I will not forget your faces. And then he leaves.
Indeed. Thank you once again, and I hope the night is kind to you.
He will say some Roman goodbye or something, whatever the Roman equivalent of goodbye is.
Alright. Well, I think that's about going to wrap it up for the night. Couple little more quick notes. The Rome did end up passing a couple of laws, and a couple of things happened.
Sorry, I was just going to say regarding the pomegranate. One thing Labiena was immediately going to do once she got it back to the group haven was to do spirit's touch on it to make sure it was the right golden pomegranate.
I mean, you're not going to find very many of those out and about.
Still, best to be sure that you didn't get the one other golden pomegranate out there.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Make me the roll for a Spirit's Touch.
Now, of course, being something very important, she is going to spend a willpower on this.
I hope you get 3 successes, because that's what you need. We're going to say diff 6.
Okay, cool.
Perception plus empathy. Difficulty 6.
Oh, hang on, I used the wrong one. Oh no, I didn't.
You didn't? Oh. Well,
You
I
got
was going to... Shoot, though, the one gotcha.
charmed existence. You need that. Well, you still got something at least. Not sure if that's useful though.
With only 2 successes, you get vague, wispy impressions of worship, scenes of sunlight-lit scenes of having flowers hung on you and offerings of grain. Yeah, I mean, this probably is the right one. I mean, besides the fact that it's a golden pomegranate with ruby seeds.
I was gonna say some of that stuff seems vaguely familiar.
Yeah, very familiar. You probably participated in that
Into-
ritual when you were alive.
To take that bet and yeah.
Right. So, in 102, Gaius Marius, who is the mentor of Lucius Cornelius Sulla, defeats some people at the Battle of Aix en Provence, also known as the Battle of Aquae Secte. Marius brings back 90,000 slaves.
90,000. I'm sure.
In 102 BC, the cult of Magna Mater begins to attract followers. The cult of Magna Mater is one of the few regulated cults in Rome. It's one of the few that have actually laws passed around it about who is eligible to join and when they can do certain things. In 100 BC, a tribune named Lucius Apuleius Saturninus passed a law to redistribute more land to military veterans. The law required all senators swear to abide by it, but one refused and was exiled. He went to Rhodes to study philosophy.
What was his name?
His name was Quintus Caecilius Metellus Numidicus.
Oh, just a one name.
Yep. That year, he stood for tribune again and was elected. Saturnius was. His associate, a praetor named Gaius Servilius Glaucia, attempted to stand for the consulship, which was in fact illegal because he was a praetor that year and was by law forbidden from immediately running for consul. A rival candidate was found murdered by agents of these 2 men, and they were then declared public enemies. The Senate issued a law called the Senatus Consultum Ultimum, and Marius engaged in a one-on-one fight with Saturnius in the Senate, in the Forum, which was an extreme circumstance, but as a result of that law, Saturninus was defeated, and then he and his followers surrendered on the condition their lives would be spared, but they were stoned to death instead by other senators.
Whoops.
Yep.
Tag Roman politics.
97
Things are
BC,
going.
a decree of the Roman Senate officially banned human sacrifice. Lucius Cornelius Sulla returns to Rome and is elected aedile. And as part of the games, he displays a lion hunt for the first time in Rome, first time ever.
So this is Sulla.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay, how's he currently feel about me?
He. The thing is, he doesn't remember you that much. But since you take the time to catch up with him, remember the consort, the woman that he was sleeping with all the time?
Yeah.
She was what's called a heterae. And if you don't know, a heterae is an extremely well-educated entertainer, not just a prostitute. They do poetry, they sing, they discuss philosophy. She was very well educated.
Mm-hmm.
Like a companion.
Yep. And she was very rich. And when she did eventually die, presumably, I like to think that Hatshepsut arranged for her to be murdered.
Eventually, possibly. Yeah, probably eventually. It'd be
It-
like, okay, getting
either that or
tiring.
drove her to suicide, one of the two, because both are equally possible in my mind. She left her
Drove her
entire
to-
fortune to Sulla.
Second option would at least look like an accident. But you know.
And as a result of that, that is what spurred his advancement. The fact that he suddenly had a bunch of money allowed him to buy his way into being mentored by Marius. He bought his way into several positions in the army, and he bought a bunch of friends. She was very wealthy, and he put her money to good use. Yeah, the carefree, loving Sulla that you guys met and was corrupted by Hatshepsut into becoming a selfish statesman is coming full force.
Good. Is that real Sulla as well, or did Hatshepsut change
Oh no, he's
real
still
history?
civilized. He's extremely selfish now. Power hungry. Remember, she taught him to take pleasure in statecraft.
Yeah.
Yep, Hatshepsut turned him from a, why can't we all just like sing and do art, man? Can't we just all get along and do this kind of stuff and the world will be a better place?
From a hippie to a corporate guy. Job. Good job. You have capitalism. Are you happy now?
Well, in the long run, this is still going to undermine Rome's institutions.
Yes, it is.
Because the world have a funny way of working like that, where the people who try to keep power for themselves wreck things even more.
Just politics. Politics does that.
In 92 BC, there was the first diplomatic contact between Rome and Parthia. Sulla met with a Parthian envoy, and they recognized the Euphrates as a common frontier. Gaius, let's see, you can skip the rest of that. Finally, in 91 BC, which is where we're going to pick this up next game, the tribune Marcus Livius Drusus made the same mistake as Gaius Gracchus and proposed extending Roman citizenship to all allied Italian cities and was assassinated.
Seriously?
Yep.
But who was assassinated?
His name is Marcus Livius Drusus.
I'm surprised he didn't go with his old tactic of doubling down. Let's give them more citizenship rights than the Romans.
And his opponents arranged his assassination, again illustrating the decline of the Roman Republic, assassinating sitting tribunes.
Well, you know what they say. Those that forget history are doomed to repeat it.
I mean, without getting into the politics of it, he had damn good reason to do it. But yeah. And that sparks civil war.
Oh boy.
which is where we're going to pick it up next session. Two
Yep.
experience points for everybody tonight. 2.
Ooh, I'm out of
me as
debt.
well?
Yeah.
Is it for
why
me
not?
as well?
Sure.
Okay. So, do you have to go, Chris, or can we discuss a little bit about
No,
my
we can
character?
discuss. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, guys. So if you're listening at home, thank you for watching. We very much appreciate it. Well, okay, guys, that's it. Thank you for joining us for this game. Poor Vlad, caught in the sunlight, unfortunately, can happen to the most prepared Cainite. And as much as he prepared for every eventuality, fire can destroy even the most powerful. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you next time. Thank you and have a great evening.